let's see, computer books, software, joystick, what should I get them? If you're trying to figure out what to get the hacker on your Christmas shopping list, Gary, Wendy Woods, Paul Schindler, George Morrow, and I'll be here in just a minute to give you our picks for Christmas presents from the computer store on this special Christmas edition of the Computer Chronicles.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by grants from AFIPS, the American Federation of Information Processing Societies, a nonprofit federation of 11 national societies for computer professionals. AFIPS, Leadership and Service in Computer and Information Technology. Additional funding is provided by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte. Byte's detailed technical articles on new hardware, software, and languages cover the latest in microcomputer technology worldwide. Byte, the international standard.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee, but this is either Gary Claus or Santa Kildall. I'm not sure which. Gary, this is the ultimate high-tech Christmas present for the hacker on your list. It's a Christmas card on a floppy disk. It's $9.95. It's called the Jingle Disc from Thoughtware, and it just plays a whole series of animated Christmas cards and Christmas jingles, as you can tell. The only thing I don't know how to do is to stop this thing.
Well, let me use a little hardware adjustment here. My bit banger, I'll work on it a little bit. Get my frustrations out.
Now, is this hardware or software?
It's a hardware adjustment.
Gary, we're going to be talking about computer Christmas presents on this show. You have any things you're buying for people?
Well, this is sort of a Tinker Toy for Techies show, and what I went out and did as an excuse is went out and bought myself a present.
Okay, well, you're going to show it to us in just a little bit. We're going to have the whole Computer Chronicles family here to go through a list of computer Christmas presents for the hacker on your list. We're going to start out by going out and seeing how the computer shopping season is going out at the computer stores.
Entertaining for some and a nightmare for others, the year's biggest retail event is Christmas. Normally placid shoppers rush into crowded stores, and every kind of consumer product gets a boost in sales, including computers.
I think the computers are moving very well this year. The drop in prices in the expensive top-of-the-line machines has picked up sales in that area and taken away a little from the less expensive machines.
While the range of affordable machines has expanded, different features appeal to different kinds of customers. A youngster is more likely to want color graphics than a spreadsheet, so Christmas sales of low-end computers are brisk. But as the gap narrows between home and office machines, all shoppers are getting smarter.
People have gotten more knowledgeable, which is helpful. They do seem to know what they want. They have people, friends who own computers, have computers, use computers, so they're able to get better counsel from their friends.
Computer sales have been disappointing this year, and many stores have closed their doors for good. But retailers are optimistic that computers will continue to excite the public.
Well, we're expecting this to be the best part of the year. History will tell whether it was a great year or what. We're not deterred by the last year as far as things being in a slump. It should be good.
Well, joining us now in the studio are a couple of characters I'm sure you're familiar with if you watch the show. Here's Santa Claus over here, Gary Kildall, whom you all know, of course, already. Paul Schindler is joining us. Paul, our regular software reviewer, and in his other life, the senior West Coast editor of Information Week magazine. And over here, this character, George Morrow, our sometime host and regular commentator, and also, coincidentally, the founder and chairman of Morrow Design, makers of the Pivot computer.
Right. Well, we will talk about hardware in the next segment.
Yeah, this is soft. Don't tell us to buy the Pivot for Christmas quite yet. Now, Gary, we're going to talk about software.
Okay, well, let me give the first software gift. Paul has been admiring my hat, so before he rips it off my head, I'm going to turn it over to him as a piece of software.
It's more appropriate to my image than yours, Gary.
Okay, we know who the clown in the crowd is right now.
The Willard Scott of the Computer Chronicles.
Okay, Gary, I want to do one thing before we get on to what the other guys have here. We showed Christmas software at the beginning of this Christmas card on a floppy disk. I want to show you this holiday software is interdenominational. This is a program called All About Hanukkah by Davka of Chicago, and it has a bunch of different programs in here to help kids celebrate the Hanukkah season. And one thing you can see is it actually lights the menorah for you. You tell it how many nights you want to light, and it lights up the menorah for you. So you've got Hanukkah software, Christmas software. Kids is a big part of Christmas, obviously. And what have you got?
The way that I looked at this, there's many opportunities to spend a lot of money in the computer industry. Sure. Yeah. Expensive software that goes $100 on up, add-on boards, things of that sort. If you're trying to get an inexpensive gift, one possibility is to go into a bookstore and trying to find something that's appropriate for a child or an adult, whatever. The trouble is you go into a store and you're going to find anything from ABCs on up to textbooks for artificial intelligence. Now, I took two cases. We have 3 kids at the home that all like the computers in one way or another. Forrest is 9 years old.
You didn't want to spend a big bucks.
Yeah, right. That's what cheap on this. And Forrest likes to play games on his Commodore 64, but he also liked to learn BASIC. And so one book that I picked up for him was his Kids in the Commodore 64. And of course, this is it's not oriented toward playing games, but oriented toward learning BASIC. Now, the important thing here is it's got a lot of cartoons and it keeps the interest of the child, and it's only $13, so that's a good start. Now, Christy is, on the other hand, likes to play around with the Mac and draw pictures and this sort of thing. This is your daughter. The daughter, and she doesn't like to learn to program or anything else, but she likes to draw. And so this book here, Becoming a Mac Artist, is an example of one that's very much oriented toward her needs of learning how to create repeating forms, for example, repeating border samples, and shows her how to use this thing in a way that, let's say, an illustrator would learn to use machine.
You're going to keep the surprise in Christmas, keep them from watching the show before Christmas Day, right?
Okay, Gary, I'm very proud of you. You didn't tell us to buy concurrent, CPM, or GEM, or any of that stuff.
Those are too obvious.
Okay, George, let's get back to you. We're talking software now. What to you would be the ideal software gift for somebody at Christmas time?
Well, you know, my orientation is an awful lot toward the business marketplace, and with the stock market doing the things they are now, it seems Signal software is a really innovative product that is going to not only help you with your investments, but protect you on the downside. You know, they've got part of that software will alert you when your stocks start to drop so that you can sell before.
Okay, describe Signal. That's very new. Most people don't know
Signal allows you to track your investments and to put performance criteria into what you want out of your investment.
I mean, but it's different from other software. It's real time, right? You've got a radio
It is real time. There's an FM receiver associated with it, and you are tracking the market just as it goes on. And it's a very innovative product.
It's kind of a Lotus add-on, right? I mean, you can sit there, be running Lotus, and at the same time you're receiving over the airwaves.
That's true. That's true.
Stock quotes.
That's right.
Stuart,
that's interesting,
the thing that strikes me about Signal is that I have friends who are serious professional investors. It's hard to talk about serious and professional with a hat on, that as recently as 3 years ago were offered that capability at a cost of, if memory serves me, $8,000 for the software, and you had to have a separate telephone line to receive the quotes from the market, and Signal is a few $100s.
That's right. No, it's quite a product.
It's part of this whole movement. Everything gets cheaper and faster.
Okay, so
now,
go ahead.
Now, there is a product that I wish was around this Christmas. I'd like to have a product where I could give a gift membership to a users group, but I haven't been able to find that. I think that would be a really good product.
Okay, well, that's not available yet right now. Okay, Paul, you're the software genius here, and you've got some packages there. What are your software picks for Christmas?
Well, I brought a few. You asked me to pick my favorite packages, and so I looked through the last couple of seasons of reviews, and I picked the packages that I really like myself, the ones that are daily of the most use to me.
A child's mind.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. One of the things, just in passing, George, you can give Christmas memberships for sure that I know of to the Source, and they'll send a little certificate. And I, in fact, because I gave one 2 years ago as a Christmas gift to a friend of mine, it's I don't know what the current pricing is, about $100 to join, and probably CompuServe allows the same thing. And for people who aren't yet into bulletin boards and communicating, that's a terrific Christmas gift.
Well, and the reason for my comment about the user group, it is the best source of support for any computer use.
So in other words, it's going to be like when you get that Christmas toy on Christmas morning, you're not going to know what to do with it.
You're going to
have
to go to the
That's exactly right.
Well, I am not a lot to show, but my word processor. Now, everybody with an IBM PC says that their word processor is the best one in the world, but they're all wrong and I'm right. This one is it's from a company called XyQuest in Bedford, Massachusetts. Now, it costs $300, but it's called Xywrite. And it is, I'm sorry, it is the best.
You reviewed this
word
one,
processor.
didn't you, Paul?
Yeah, I think we reviewed everything that I'm talking about here. But I brought them because they're my favorites. I use it every day. Now, is it the best for everybody? Maybe not. But for a professional writer like me, it's the fastest. World's worst documentation, but it's fast. However, Christmas is mostly for kids, and so I brought along one kid thing and one piece of software for people who are kids at heart. The kid software that I brought along is Reader Rabbit. Now, this is $50. And it's made by the Learning Company in Menlo Park,
we have
California.
this up on the Apple.
We have it up on the Apple.
Let's sort of run through how this works, and I'll hit the buttons. You tell me what to do.
I'm one behind Gary here. I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. The 1-year-old isn't on the computer yet, but the 4-year-old takes lessons on an Apple twice a week, and this is one of her favorites. Now, you'll see here, it's going to give us a pattern to match to. Now, George asked me before we started, how long would a kid be interested in this? And I know it seems amazing, but my daughter's been using this thing for months. Go ahead and push the space bar. And you'll see it'll give us a pattern. We're looking for words that start with, hit the space bar, quick.
Okay, we can't.
Otherwise, we won't
we're looking for words that start with G.
That's right. You got to be fast with this one.
This is a test.
This is a test now.
I do what a 2-year-old
let this go, and it drops into the garbage can. And I know it seems boring, and I know it seems pointless, but teachers tell me it helps teach you to read, and my daughter tells me...
That's a take. What happens?
Reader Rabbit dances.
Okay,
and it's a reward, and it doesn't seem like much of a reward to us, but what can I tell you? Kids are different.
Really enjoy it.
What else
Kids
do you have
enjoy
here,
it.
Paul?
I've got Ultimate Trivia, which is a game for grown-ups, and I just found out today that nobody on the staff here of the Chronicles believed me in my review when I said I play it every morning. I do play it every morning, and in fact, I have to turn the sound off.
The hat really does fit.
I have to turn the sound off to keep my wife from asking me, well, why aren't you working, Paul? I work at home. $50, Ultimate Trivia from Mentor Learning Systems in California somewhere.
How does it help your day?
It gets me, I like to play trivia. It gets me started. It gets the juices going in the morning.
Something like a cup of coffee for the normal person.
Yeah, for a cup of coffee for Santa Clara, California is where Mentor Learning Systems.
Real quick, we only have a couple minutes.
Back up. The best $150 you'll ever spend if you got a hard disk. I'm telling you, the first time your hard disk crashes, you're going to wish you had already owned this package. And finally, Higgins. Dullest packaging on the market, $400. Most expensive package I'm going to recommend, but I'm telling you, if you need to get organized, it's Aces. It's absolutely top-notch. Kinetic Systems, Portland, Oregon, and I highly recommend it.
Now, Stuart, you have something also.
I sure do. This goes back to kids, I think, and this is one of the cleverest uses of a computer I've ever seen. If you have an Apple II at home and if you have a kid, this is great. It turns your computer into a kind of a science chemistry lab. What you do is go into the joystick port with this little thing. You've got a thermistor, measures temperature over here, a photoelectric cell that measures light, and you've got all kinds of different electronic meters now. For instance, I can pick thermometer, go into the thermometer mode, and we'll tell it to start measuring temperature. And here it is, and it's telling you it's 90 degrees in the studio right now, guys.
That's really clever.
Okay, now I can get out of that, and let's see if I escape and get back to this main menu. We'll get to our light meter here, and I can show you. We'll find out how many foot candles are going in the studio right now if I tell it to start. And there we go, 3.1 foot candles. There's our little light meter going over there. It also has a timer in here so you can do experiments and actually time them. Let's see, I've got to get back here to go down to our timer and call up the timer. And you'll see this is pretty neat too. You get a timer over here, you can start it, you have a digital readout, your little timer keeps on going.
Clever.
So you can time your experiments. We can get out of that. And finally, there's another terrific feature in here, which is this thing called Strip Chart. And if I go into Strip Chart, I can actually draw a graph of the results of what it is I'm measuring. So here we go, and we can see this is just a little typical thing. And if I hit go, there's it going along there, and I'm doing anything right now, so whatever it is I'm measuring isn't changing. Anyhow, I think this is a terrific way to turn a computer
Like the
into
chemistry kit, except
Right, exactly.
it can't stain and it can't blow up. Well, it may blow up.
Anyhow, it's called Science Toolkit, and it's from Broderbund. Okay, we've been talking about software. We're going to have Wendy Woods join us in just a moment, and we'll take a look at some of the neat hardware presents for Christmas on your shopping list, so stay with us. Joining us now is Wendy Woods, who most of you know is our reporter on the Computer Chronicles, and Wendy is also the editor-in-chief of News Bites on The Source. And back with us is George Morrow and Gary, That used to be Paul Schindler just a minute ago. Now, what kind of toy is this you've
Oh my God,
got?
I'm all mic'd up and ready to go here. Wendy, you brought A.G. Bear in here. What's he all about?
Well, A.G. Bear is one of my favorite toys this year, and if you like computers, this is the toy for your kids or for yourself. This is one of those toys that's come out of Axelon, and they're putting microprocessors in little bears and cats. A.G. Bear
Is that Nolan Bushnell's?
Nolan
one of his
Bushnell's
companies?
firm, right, in Sunnyvale. This little bear will talk back to you. First, you have to wake him up. You have to wake him up. Hello, A.G. How are you today? Is that right? Huh.
Make a good guess.
Say hello to Gary.
Hi, A.G. How are you doing?
That's basically all he does. He'll respond to you depending on the pitch of your voice.
Now, I understand he also goes to sleep after a while, right?
Yes, if you don't talk to him for about 20, 30 seconds, he'll just nod off, and you have to pick him up again and shake him to wake him up.
This is going to be great
really
for
good.
kids going to bed, isn't it?
Definitely. One of the advantages is the bear listens, too.
Yeah.
It usually will listen to you talk and then respond. And I understand that children have a good time just carrying on conversations
Yeah.
with it, and it does talk back.
What kind of battery? Sorry to ruin the illusion, but what kind of battery does
This is really not Paul Schindler, right?
No, he has a battery too.
You open him up here. It takes regular C batteries, and it's got...
Should probably last pretty long, I guess. Just to keep that
do a
going.
little dissection.
Oh, this is really terrible.
This is basically what's in him. It's a little
Oh,
speaker,
that's the truth.
little microphone, and you put the battery in here. And
How much does that guy cost?
this costs about $30, and it's sold throughout the country, I understand, in every city. Department stores and toy stores.
A.G. Bear.
Do you know how long the batteries last, Wendy?
Apparently, they do last a long time.
That's cute.
That is pretty neat. Now, I know you have some other little animals there, but we'll get back to those in just a second, Wendy. George, we're talking hardware this segment. What's the neatest hardware Christmas present out there?
Well, I like the PC compatibles. And Epson is rolling out a new one this year.
This is the man who makes the pivot talking.
That's
now,
right.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, we're talking bang for the buck here.
Okay.
And I think the Epson tried once and sort of fell on their face,
Right.
but they've come back and they're now got a product at $9.95 that is supposed to be very, very IBM compatible. And it's the second time out, and generally the Japanese get it done quite well the second time out. So I know it's compatible. The price has got to be right at $9.95.
What's included at $9.95? I mean, drives, memory, and so on.
You get one drive, you get 256K of memory, you get you don't get a monitor, but you do get the graphics card, and so it's a fairly complete machine, not totally complete.
So pretty good IBM PC compatible for $9.95
right.
plus
That's right.
monitor.
That's right.
So if you want to buy somebody a computer, a compatible,
It's not a bad
that's
choice.
a good pick.
Not a bad choice.
Okay, he wants to buy an Epson computer, and you want to buy a printer, which isn't an Epson. What do you got?
I'll tell you, I thought about this problem of what would I want, what would I actually use, and I went through. I just went to Comdex and looked at all the new things that were going on there, and I guess
Could you get him to shut up? Take his battery out.
We love you, AG, but we're going to have to put you over in the corner.
ahead,
I went
Gary.
through things like voice recognition and speech synthesis and image scanners and things like that, and I thought those are all really neat gadgets, and I love gadgets, but I thought it'd be practical and say, what would I really use? And in fact, a couple weeks ago, I picked up a little printer for doing some debugging work that had on a particular program that used a printer, and I went down and found this Loki data, 192. And the reason I like this one, and I'll say this is actually I'd say a group of printers in this category that are very lightweight. You can put them in a briefcase. You can carry them along with the compact, for example, with your transportable computer system. And I hadn't purchased a printer for years, I think, and last time I purchased probably an old Centronics 101 or something like that. And I found that this little machine did the same thing that those old bulky machines did that cost $2,000 a few years ago. It does all, in fact, it does everything. It scrunches the paper up when it misfeeds and everything. All the bad habits of the old printers. But I'd say from my standpoint, from program developer, if you have someone at home that likes to write programs and don't have a little printer, it's a good choice.
How much does it cost, Gary?
I've seen them from $400 to $500 in that price.
And how
range.
much does it weigh?
I didn't get the exact. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's very lightweight, and they come slightly larger, but it's a nice fit with a portable computer, something like that.
Now, it's a dot matrix printer?
Dot matrix printer, near letter quality.
Near letter
And
quality.
again, I don't want to endorse this exact computer,
Sure.
this exact printer, but the idea is that we have some really nice, small, portable printers like this right now that are on the market.
Okay.
You know, there are a class of developing printers that are even smaller than that run from batteries. The printing quality isn't nearly as good.
Right, and I think in this particular case, what I'm looking at is my personal computer that I use is a compact 286, and that kind of a computer system is a large memory system, a hard disk, and things of that sort. It's really not the kind of thing you use on an airplane, but you're going to have an AC plug, and you want this thing to run very, very fast. 160 characters per minute is not.
That is very fast.
Okay, speaking of using on an airplane, or using in the bathtub for that matter, here's my pick, okay? This is a tiny new little computer. I guess you can't even call it a microcomputer. This is just a delightful little machine. It's called the Access, and it just came out from a company called Mellar Technologies of New York, and it's an incredible little machine. It really operates a lot like, say, a Radio Shack Model 100. It obviously doesn't have a real great touch typing keyboard.
It's a lot smaller, isn't it?
But it's a lot smaller, but it's interesting. Even though it has a 40-column by 8-row screen, which isn't too bad, you can actually create 80-column by 24-line documents and window across them. So it'll wrap it whatever size you want. It opens up in a nice function menu like a lot of those other portables do. It has a built-in word processor, which isn't too bad, so immediately I could go, say, to my text menu. Excuse me. The thing I like about this is it's pretty clever in its file searching capacity. So besides the word processor, it handles files almost like a filer, like a database manager. So if I want to go find a particular file in here, I can just find it normally and give it the file name. But if I don't remember how often we look for a file, we forget what you called the file. Okay, it'll do a keyword search of all the files. Say, give me the file that had Kildall's name in it, and it'll come up with it. Or if I can't do that, I can call up files by the first 6 lines of each document, and it'll just scan through those if I don't remember what it was called.
Do you have a way of communicating then with another computer system, transfer
Well,
these files
that's
back
actually
and
the beauty of this. It's got a modem, comes in with, it's got a little port right over here, and it comes with an acoustic coupler. So the theory is you carry this around, you're at the airport, you can't get to a modular plug, you just go to a payphone, put it on. It's got the built-in communication software in here. I guess I can go back here, and one of the choices is telecom menu. And you can see I can get in there. So I can go get Wendy's News Bites off the source, or call up CompuServe or Dow Jones or my home banking or whatever. I can easily download things in here. I can upload to my computer back home. I can go right out of this port. It's a real computer. It really is quite amazing.
We should, for the viewers, I guess we ought to mention that the screen is really excellent. It has very good contrast, and there's very low
It's
reflection.
quite amazing to get the 40 columns and the 8 pretty good. Now, another thing I like about this is, watch this deal. It has 40K internal memory and 64K memory cartridges. So you can carry a couple of these around in your pocket, have a lot of storage, and they're coming out with application software on these cartridges. You just shove it in there, and there you go.
That can be either RAM or ROM then.
That's right, exactly. And it runs on a very little battery back here. Runs for about 10 hours, not plugged in.
Is this programmable in any sense? Could you go past the word processor and actually do any programming?
I understand, not yet, but I understand you'll be able to buy a basic cartridge or another programming language cartridge. Which
and did you say the price of this?
To program. It starts at $500 depending on the memory configuration. So we only have a minute left, and I want to see what those cats are all about.
Okay, these are called Petsters, and they're another toy from Axlon. Right now it's just a cat. Apparently next year they're coming out with a dog. Petsters are responsive to your voice or to claps.
I guess so.
And they have minds of their own. They supposedly will purr if you say purr, but I haven't been able to get them to do that. Clap. Go to
You have 2 of them. Now, do they mate? Is that one of their tricks here, Wendy?
No, I just thought it would be double trouble. Go ahead, clap.
Oh,
There we
There
go.
it goes. Well, that's close.
Hardware comes to the hardware designer.
okay, now.
Go ahead.
Okay, Wendy, what's going on inside here?
Well, there's a little custom chip in there, and it's got limited voice recognition. It responds to about 10 different verbal commands. Come here.
Okay, there's a respond to we're out of time.
And
we are. I'm sorry, Wendy. I hope you have a very pleasant Christmas from all of us here, and hope you find a nice high-tech toy under your Christmas tree. We'll see you next time. In the Random Access file this week, December computer sales are looking good, but not because of Christmas. The most activity seems to be in business computers, where buyers are motivated more by year-end tax considerations than by holiday giving. Projections now are that home computer sales will be slower than last year, while office computer sales will be up more than 30%. At the low end, the surprise hit of the season is the orphaned Atom computer, which is selling better than it did last year. Discounts on the PC Junior and on Apples are also pumping up holiday sales. The rumors are getting hot and heavy about IBM's new operating system. One version of the story is that Microsoft will come out with a generic DOS 5.0, but that IBM will come out with its own superset of 5.0 that will take advantage of the AT's 8286 microprocessor, but still be compatible with existing DOS software. The main features of the new DOS will include better graphics, addressing more than 640K of memory, multitasking, and connectivity with mainframes. It may just be coincidence, but now that Steve Jobs is gone from Apple, his former partner Steve Wozniak is buying up Apple stock. The Woz reportedly has bought $5 million worth of Apple shares and plans to buy more. Data General says it has a new lap portable that will have a built-in hard disk drive and an easy-to-read screen. The new product is being described as a laptop XT. In our legislative update file, the chairman of the House Government Operations Committee says the Social Security Administration's new computer system is a mess, suffering from missed deadlines, cost overruns, and political problems. The computers are now expected to cost nearly $1 billion, almost double the original estimate, and 2 Social Security officials have been found guilty of soliciting bribes in connection with contracts for software. It's time for our software pick of the week, and here is the unbribable Paul Schindler.
You know, it doesn't seem to take much to make a boot kick, right? But if you think of a boot as a metaphor easily grasped by children, you've made the first step into the world of make-believe, in which you'll find Rocky's Boots. This is one fantastic, complicated game. Even adults can learn from it. MIT graduates like myself may have to pinch themselves to be sure they've not died and gone to heaven. This program works okay with a keyboard, but it's a lot better with a joystick. Like other Learning Company games, the on-screen image is one of walking through a series of rooms, learning things. In Rocky's Boots, what you're learning about is electrical circuits. The cursor provides electricity, which runs the circuits. Sensors are connected via wires to clackers. The program teaches young people about real logic circuits. This is not just a dry tutorial, it's a game. So anytime you want, you can go into the big room and test your skill at building the kind of big machines that Rocky really likes. Can you build a machine that kicks out only blue crosses? If you succeed, you can get Rocky to dance. Well, we didn't manage it this time, but you can if you buy and use Rocky's Boots, a real kick, for $50 from the Learning Company in Menlo Park, California. For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Paul Schindler.
You want software? Listen to this. Reference Technology is selling a CD-ROM for the IBM PC that has over 8,000 programs on it, and it's free if you buy the optical drive for $1,600. Borland International is reportedly buying up the electronic publishing rights to reference works like Bartlett's, the Columbia Encyclopedia, and Black's Law Dictionary. Can the Turbo reference disc be far behind? If you have a PC Junior and you're determined to use it for business, you can now buy a hard disk drive for the Junior. It's $800 from TW Technologies. And if you need a break from staring at spreadsheets, there's a new RAM resident program called Chuckle Pops. It stores hundreds of jokes in your computer, so when you get fed up trying to figure out where cell H27 came from, you can take a laugh break. It's $14.95 from Enlighten Software. Finally, Jack Tramiel had the last laugh at the Winter Comdex. Atari was probably the only company that knew it would make money at Comdex. Why? Because Atari sublet its big booth to 45 different software vendors who were writing for the 520 ST. They each paid Tramiel $1,000 for the right to help man the Atari booth. That's it for this week's Chronicles. We'll see you next time.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by grants from AFIPS, the American Federation of Information Processing Societies, a nonprofit federation of 11 national societies for computer professionals. AFIPS, Leadership and Service in Computer and Information Technology. Additional funding is provided by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte. Byte's detailed technical articles on new hardware, software, and languages cover the latest in microcomputer technology worldwide. Byte, the international standard.
Odds are you won't get to sit on Santa Claus's lap this Christmas season, but I'll bet if you did get to talk to Santa, you probably would ask him for something having to do with your computer. Well, today we've got a great list of gift ideas for the computer user on your Christmas shopping list on this special holiday edition of the Computer Chronicles.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible by Leading Edge, makers of IBM-compatible computer systems, including Lotus Lookalike Spreadsheet, word processing with spelling correction, communication software, and Hayes-compatible 1200 baud modem. Leading Edge, with over 1,000 service centers nationwide. Additional funding is provided by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte. Byte's detailed technical articles on new hardware, software, and languages cover developments in computer technology worldwide.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee. Gary Kildall is off Christmas shopping somewhere, I think. And sitting in for Gary this week is George Morrow. George, I want to show you something. This is my wallet. I'm not going to give you any money now. These are credit cards, and I want to show you one very special credit card. Look at this baby. Happens to have an alphanumeric keyboard and a 2K memory in here. I have my Christmas shopping list in here. Look at this. I can punch up somebody's name, and that's what I'm supposed to get that person for Christmas.
How long
See?
did it take you to put all that stuff in there, Stuart?
What's the difference? I had a lot of fun doing it,
That's
George.
true. That's true.
This is just a little example of a kind of high-tech computer present that you could get someone who's into these things for Christmas. That's what we're talking about today. Good ideas for Christmas presents for computer people. Let me ask you a serious question, though, about this season. The Christmas season is very important, in fact, to lots of businesses, department stores, and so on. How important is the Christmas season to the computer industry?
Well, this year I think it's going to be a little bit more important than usual because the tax laws are all ending, Stuart. All the tax changes are now going to be in place at the beginning of the year, and people are going to be spending money sometimes on equipment this year that they wouldn't have normally. And the other side, the little bit lighter side, is that I think in the computer industry that hope beats eternal, that each Christmas they will find a product that will find its way into the homes and
The
hearts
home
of
market
men.
really
Right.
will exist.
Right.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to be joined soon by Paul Schindler and Wendy Woods, so you can hear directly from the experts about some great Christmas gift ideas that you can buy in a computer store. We'll be right back. Stay with us. With us now in the studio is Paul Schindler, whom everybody knows is our software reviewer and specialist here on Computer Chronicles. And next to Paul, Wendy Woods, our specialist on just about everything dealing with personal computers. And of course, George Morrow is back here. And we're going to be talking about goodies for Christmas that have to do with computers. And I'm going to take the liberty of starting because I have something sitting up there in the computer. If I can show you this, George, this is neat. This is a program called Business Simulator. It was developed by the people who teach in the MBA program at the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. They took their case studies that they use and they put them all on a disc now, and for about 99 bucks, I think it is, you can buy these case studies. They call it Business Simulator. They say it's like a flight simulator. You can practice flying the plane and crash without killing yourself. You can crash a company without actually going bankrupt. So what you see right here, in this particular...
I should have gotten
Say it, George. In this particular model, you're running a little computer company. It shows you who your competition is, who the CEOs of the other companies are. We've got various things we can do. I can go in and read the Wall Street Journal, for example, and see what they're saying about my industry. And there's the, well, it's called the Business Journal, but we know it's a takeoff of the Wall Street Journal. I can go in and take a look at some other things. I can go in here and read annual reports from my company and see how the company's been doing. And let's see, I can go see a balance sheet, for example, in the annual report and go see what's going on there. I can go back. I can also go into the file and read memos that have been written in this company before I came over and took over as CEO here and see what people have been saying to each other. Here's a finance memo that's going to be in the file about possible bankruptcy. That sounds a little bit familiar there, too.
Yes.
Now, after you have all this information, you can actually go make some decisions about your business. So I go into Make Decisions, and you'll see we go into a decision menu here. Decisions about how am I going to price my product, for example. How much am I going to spend on advertising? What product mix should I have? Should I expand my factory capability, and so on. Once you do that, then you can go in and actually what they call process the decision, and it just simulates the business for 1 year, and you see what goes on. You then get back in and make your decisions again. The thing I like about here is that function R. If you get fed up with the whole mess, George, you hit R and you retire. See, and it's all over. And you don't have to face these problems anymore.
This is true simulation?
A true simulation, yeah. These are real case studies, as I said, that are used in training MBA students. And you can now, there are 6 of them. And matter of fact, the company says you can actually get these custom made now to your particular business with the particular competitors, particular product mix, and so on and so forth.
I should get one of those, Stuart.
It's kind of neat. Okay, George, I'm going to turn it over to you now. And I'm going to turn the keyboard over to Paul to get ready for his demo.
I've got Norton Utilities. This has saved my life.
An oldie but goodie.
It saved my life twice this year. I had corrupted files, and I don't know what I'd have done. I'd have had to spend a month doing system programming. So it isn't perfect, but I have to say that it was awfully helpful to me.
Now, George,
you know, I'm a record collector.
Yes.
And I have this
monster database.
I have this monster database, 12 megabytes, and it was corrupted.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to go in and fix it with this thing. Otherwise, I would still be at the keyboard trying to program assembly language to go in and get that file. So it really helped.
You know, most of the more relatively normal of us who count on Norton to get us through our daily lives use the unerase feature. I just want to mention, some people have heard that there exists a package somewhere that will unerase a file that you've accidentally erased.
Right.
Well, this is it, and I want to be sure to mention that.
Yes, that's true, but there are 2 or 3 utilities you can get that'll unerase. Whether it does it as good as the Norton, I don't know. But as far as I know, Norton's the only one that'll let you actually go in and fiddle with a file if you need to.
Did not know that.
So your recommendation is Norton Utilities. Anybody doesn't have it, that'd make a great Christmas present.
If you've got critical data
yeah.
that there's a chance you'll corrupt, it's good to have on your shelf.
I want to go to Wendy now for a minute while Paul continues to put his program together there. You have a mysterious white box in front of you.
Yes, this is a mysterious white box. Well, anybody who's been using spelling checkers knows how much memory a spelling checker can take up if you have it in RAM. And by the time you get to write your document, there's very little RAM left, unless you have a very powerful computer. Well, this is the first time that a spelling checker has been put in a box that's separate from your computer. What you do, this is from Xerox. It's hardware spelling checker. And it's from Xerox. It's called PC Type Write. And what you do is you plug this into the keyboard port in back of your computer, and then you plug your detachable keyboard into the box. And then what'll happen is, as you're typing, if it sees you type a misspelling, it'll beep so that you can stop at that word and make a correction. It's certainly the first one of this kind that I've ever seen. It's got a 100,000 word vocabulary.
Did you misspell something there?
I think so. And it's also, you can customize it to add about 1,200 new words to it.
You know what it sells for, Wendy?
Right now it's $199.95. This just came out in November Comdex, so it's probably reaching the stores very slowly at this point, but $200 approximately, which is about what you'd pay for a good spelling checker anyway.
Well, sounds pretty good. An oldie but goodie. She's got a newie but goodie here.
I think it's a fantastic idea, by the way, as a regular habitué of spelling checkers. Of course, in my case, they're only catching typographical errors because I am a perfect speller. But and I thought I'd jump in and mention that before you issued your usual caveat against spelling checkers. I know you don't care much for them.
No, I like them. I didn't think that I'd ever be able to say anything good about a spelling checker, but I'm using a spelling checker, not an online one. I use one that I check as I go along when I want to. It's an online spelling checker.
Okay.
Right.
And I've gone from being able to spell about 60% of the words right to being able to spell over 95% right. You're looking at someone who never passed a high school English course.
Well, you know, if you spell 90% of them, maybe that's the difference. 98. Maybe that's the difference between success and failure in the computer business, George. Better spelling?
Maybe.
Paul, what toys do you have for us?
Well, I have, first of all, I'm a great believer in books at Christmas. I'm an owner. I have hundreds of books. Most of them I've already colored in. No, seriously, I have a large library at home, and I'm a lover of books, and I always like to recommend books for all holidays, birthdays and Christmas. And in conjunction with my colleague Richard Dalton of Keep Track Corporation in San Francisco, I have come up with several suggestions. First of all, the IBM XT Clone Buyer's Guide, which is an excellent $10 resource for people who haven't bought their XT clone yet. I mean, you and I both have ours, George, but there are people in this world who haven't bought theirs yet.
This is probably the only book on the face of the earth that's out of date 10 minutes after it goes to press, right?
Well, there is a problem with that, but what it does is,
certainly.
in addition to offering you specific advice, it tells you in general how to look for one. It's from Modular Information Systems in San Francisco, and then here is a book with a spectacularly uninspiring cover, but the point is the information, not the package. It's $25. $30, and it's called, cleverly enough, More Than You Ever Wanted to Know About Hard Disks for the IBM PC. All hard disks, it's $25. It's from Landmark Software in Sunnyvale, California. All, as you well know, George, in the disk controller business, not all hard disks are created the same.
That's right.
And they have different access times, different prices. It's more, and of course, different capacities.
And different kinds of things can go wrong with them.
And different kinds of things can go wrong with them. This is a really thorough examination of just about all the hard disks there are.
Probably every user group should have 1 or 2 copies of that.
Absolutely. It's an excellent, it should be in every user group library and in a lot of personal libraries.
Paul, I'm going to ask you
All
to
right,
move
yes.
and show us this peculiar-looking program.
This is Looking Your Best from One Step Software in Charlotte, North Carolina, $35. Now, I was rapidly entering some not very accurate information about myself. The idea of this program is it's a clothing advisor. It doesn't do your colors, you know, the hot yuppie trend of 1986. It doesn't do your colors.
There's only 16 colors in the iPad.
But it'll do your necklines. Now, unfortunately, I've got to say one negative thing about it. It doesn't distinguish between men and women. So when it shows me the neckline choices, as we noted when we were trying it out just before the show, it does.
Yeah, you wouldn't look too good in that high cowl.
In the high cowl, I think it would be
Yes,
a little bizarre, but. You know, and then it offers you choices of jackets. It goes through a very detailed description of yourself, your hip size, whether your shoulders are wider than your waist, which mine are at least for the next couple of years, and it's just chock full of advice based on things like the shape of your face and the size of your hips and all kinds of information that actually I had to think about quite a bit before entering.
Dress for success on a disc. Huh?
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to move along now. We'll be back in just a minute. Take a look at some presents for people who have Apple computers. First of all, let's go out and see what effect this Christmas season is having on the sale of hardware and software.
December is here, and once again, computer owners are faced with a surging need to buy, much to the pleasure of computer retailers. Some owners are ready to upgrade their systems, while others simply want accessories or gifts for their computer-savvy friends. Whatever the motivation, sales are climbing, and retailers are optimistic.
Our sales this year have actually improved over last year, and sales going into Christmas last year I think were very, very high. Our current sales are running maybe 4 times what they were last year.
Many shops prepare for Christmas by increasing their stock of high-priced luxury goods. But computer vendors are in the awkward position of balancing sales between corporate buyers and the growing consumer market, which is also becoming more sophisticated.
In the past, people were looking for systems sometimes under $500. I think the average consumer is now budgeted from $1,500 to $2,000 for a computer system, and for our store, most of the consumer lines can be purchased for that.
This year's flashy newcomers, like the Amiga, the Atari ST, and the hard-to-get Apple IIgs, provide attractive floor demonstrations. But they may not have the lasting impact of lower prices and more powerful machines.
In 1979, we didn't have the variety of computers that are currently available for consumer use. The Apple II computer was selling for $3,500 for a 16K machine. Those are all under $1,000 now for 128K machines.
Boys and girls, we're back on the show here now. Just in case anybody thinks that Paul changed his clothes having watched that program, this is now Wendy and this is now Paul. And George, I have something I didn't get to show you in the last segment. I want to show you right now because it really relates to the business user, kinds of things we were talking about before. This is called the Business Consultant. They don't call it a calculator or a computer because I'm not sure Hewlett-Packard knows which it is, but it's a very impressive either little toy or terrific business tool. I'm not sure which.
Probably a little of both.
The nice thing I like about this, it has soft function keys in here, 6 of them, and you can define them any way you want with this alpha keyboard over here, create any formulas you want, and then you can solve them very simply. For instance, I created a formula here for figuring out the cost of my car rental. rentals. So I have variables in here like the daily rate, the number of days, the mileage rate, number of miles, the insurance cost, and I can now figure out the cost. I've already entered in the variables, and I say, okay, what should that car cost me? Calculates, boom, $226.25. You can go backwards, of course, also. Suppose I say, well, my budget only allows for $200. I want to define cost as being no greater than $200. I hit that function key. I say, now what's the highest daily rate I can afford to pay? And it tells me that rate is only $25.44. However, the pièce de résistance, that little printer over there,
Yep.
no wires, no cables, no cords.
Right.
Watch this trick. And it's driving that printer through an infrared beam. And it can work up to about 18 inches, 60 degrees. A great little business tool to carry around with you.
This you leave on the desk, this you carry with you.
Yeah, exactly. Infrared printer, amazing. One other kind of device I want to show you, which has nothing to do with business, this has to do with kids. And that's what Christmas is about, I guess. This is a delightful little thing. You can only buy this through mail order. It's from a company called Sunburst. They have an 800 phone number called the Muppet Keyboard. It's a great way for little kids to get comfortable with a computer. They don't have to learn about the complicated keys. They don't have to know QWERTY. You have little letters here. I've got something up now in which you teach kids about the alphabet. So I can hit H, for example, and I see a hamburger, right? The kid identifies. I can learn about numbers by saying, well, what does 3 hamburgers look like? Or what do 6 hamburgers look like, for example? And they do little tricks. And I can say, okay, what is G? Okay, well, it's ghosts. Okay, and they do little dances. And what is L? Okay, L is little lobsters. And what does S do for me? Little singing socks and so on.
Now, how does this plug into
Plugs
the
into the joystick port on the Apple. And you have number input, colors, letters. The thing I like, it's simple for a kid. There's no enter key, it says go.
Right.
There's no escape key, it says zap. There's no delete key, it says erase. It's just a terrific little kind of user-friendly for kids way to interface with an Apple computer. What do you have for kids?
Well, this is for kids that are a little older. This is something that an aunt or an uncle is going to buy for somebody. This is the SAT software that prepares you for the SAT exams. There's about 6 or 8 discs here. It will tell you how much time to spend on questions.
George, I'm going to stop you saying, could you recycle that? Oh, she got it? Okay. Wendy's getting her program ready. Go ahead.
This will give you information on how to study for the tests, how much time to spend on questions. The SAT exams, of course, are getting like these entrance exams in Japan.
Yeah.
So the pressure to pass them is more intensive, and something like this is certainly probably a much better preparation than any of the books or things like that.
Certainly great for the high school level.
Well, I took 2 of them, and I wished I'd have had something like this.
Well, I've played with this myself, too. It's very impressive, and it has a timer built into it. It has advice. It has different rates at which you can learn the stuff. It is very impressive.
So it's a perfect gift from an aunt or an uncle.
That's right. You were mentioning, Stuart, before we started the segment, there's a cram mode and a long-term learning mode, and I think that's absolutely excellent. So it's a little too late to buy it for this year, but for next year's students, there's plenty of time to teach them about that.
You have some neat-looking toys there, Paul.
If Christmas is for kids, then I guess this... wow, gosh, I missed. Well, I'll keep trying. This is the absolutely hot toy. This is the product of the hot computer toy for this Christmas season. It's called Toy Shop. It's from Broderbund. It's $65. It's absolutely brilliant.
Those toys are all
These toys were all made from paper plans that come from the computer. Now you say to yourself, well, you could buy a kit of paper plans, you know. And all right, so this catapult works. I've demonstrated that by shooting a couple of spitwads at you and Stuart. This carousel actually turns, and this car actually rolls. Now I'm a 10-fingered klutz, and Broderbund did these for us. I'm not sure I could do toys of this level of complexity, but I have done a couple toys out of it. I'm going to do several more before Christmas. 2 great things about it, really. It's a good project to do with your kids, and you can personalize these, put their name in, change the patterns.
Well, Paul, one of the real appealing things here is something that you can make a computer do something and actually put something together after you've had the computer do it.
Exactly.
And to make it clear, Paul, it really happens in the program. It's kind of a little mini CAD-CAM program, right?
Exactly,
It actually, you design it, and it prints out on your printer these parts, which you then use to build the toy.
Glue together and add wood, and it's so simple, even I can use it. And we're talking simple. Now, speaking of simple, one other quick thing I want to mention, the Pen Mouse Plus from Curta in Phoenix, Arizona, brand new, just out at Comdex, $300 for people who don't like mice. This is a little electronic pen, and and if you move it around on the surface of this, it moves the cursor around on the screen. Now, we didn't demonstrate that because it took too much time to set up. But, you know, allow yourself an hour or two to set this up. And if you hate mice, this is an alternative.
Is it kind of like a koala pad? Is that the
yes,
idea?
it's like a koala pad.
I have to tell, we should warn our viewers, though, this is a little transmitter there. And
Radio transmitter.
And if you get close to another RF source,
like a television set or a radio.
You can get some interference.
Right, so don't work it near a TV.
Wendy, what do you have?
Oh, this is a great game from Electronic Arts called Thomas Dish's Amnesia. Now, what this is it leaves you in the beginning without any clothes on in a hotel room. You don't know how you got there.
Wow. This is a family show, Wendy. Okay.
You have to get clothes. You have to figure out why you're there. You have to figure out what your name is. And it's the most ambitious text adventure that apparently has ever been created.
So the character at the beginning has amnesia, basically. You don't know what anything is.
That's right.
He has nothing.
That's
he has
right.
no clothes.
It's
no
two discs
money,
you go
no
through.
Food,
All the
nothing.
games from Electronic Arts are great. I hate to give any company a blanket endorsement, but I've never
good.
played a bummer from these guys.
Well, this has been fascinating. Everybody who's been over at my house playing this has enjoyed it. Comes with a map of the Manhattan subway system, which is programmed into the discs.
That's one way to learn how to use the subway system.
Cross-street indicator.
Wow.
It comes with a telephone directory of mysterious names, which are clues.
Including the FBI, I see.
Guide to New York City, right. Anyway.
And it's a text adventure game.
It's a text adventure game, and you go through this, and here, for instance, it's just presented you in the room. You don't know what's going on. First
Wendy,
command
does it
is
always
get up.
have the same outcome? Do you always...
No.
Oh.
No,
I have, so far I've been playing this maybe 5 or 6 times. First of all, I've ended up being convicted of murder, being tried and executed.
Ended up a guest on the Computer Chronicles Christmas show.
I've gone to purgatory. I've ended up on the streets of New York.
Wendy, I have one more toy there. We have a little bit of time. Show me what your other toy is.
Okay, this is a real cheapie. $10, great.
Stocking stuffer.
It's called the Chocolate Bite. It's created by the Chocolate Software Company. Only 3 months, right around the Christmas season, can you find this in retail stores. It's pure chocolate, and it's very, very good.
In the shape
of a 5 1/4-inch floppy disk.
Can you open it up? Can we see what?
Well, it's a little broken
you
here,
messed
but...
it up. Okay, like most floppy disks.
Yes, that's right. It's
Anyway,
easy to...
it's very good.
It is good.
It's
I've
good
had 2 of
chocolate,
them
Good
myself.
chocolate.
Chocolate floppy disk.
It is very good chocolate. So,
Okay. Well, I think that's about all the time we have. We've seen lots of great toys here for
Yeah.
kids, for grown-ups. If you have a computer, if you know somebody who has a computer, here's some suggestions for you. Thanks for being with us. We'll be back in just a minute with this week's Computer News. In the Random Access file this week, as we get closer to the new year, rumors keep building about IBM's plans for new computers in 1987. Leading the speculation is the expected unveiling of the PC-2, a $1,000 PC featuring 3.5-inch drives, expanded memory, and enhanced graphics. The PC-2 reportedly will use a modified 8086 chip that will enable it to outperform existing PC clones. Analysts say the next step will be a flood of new software to take advantage of the new PC-2 design, software that will not run on the clones. The rumor mill has it that IBM will unveil the PC-2 in a Super Bowl commercial, and of course there are the usual rumors that Apple will unveil a new computer in the Super Bowl, possibly an MS-DOS compatible Macintosh. Other predictions for 1987 include the IBM version of a 386 machine, again using a specially modified version of the Intel 8386 chip. And finally, IBM will supposedly introduce an upgraded version of the PC convertible, featuring a better screen, built-in modem, 640K, and an optional hard drive. Ashton Tate says it will be coming out with subsets of its DBase 3 program for 386 computers. The company says it will unbundle DBase 3 so that the program's separate modules can take advantage of the power of the new 386 chip. Commodore says its QuantumLink online service has now become the second biggest online service for computer users, trailing only CompuServe. QuantumLink currently is only for Commodore users, but the company says it plans to open up the online service to IBM and Apple users sometime in 1987. For years now, people have been worrying about the possible health effects of sitting in front of a video display terminal for hours on end. Now, 2 doctors in Pennsylvania say the problem is not radiation from the screen, it's lack of circulation in the fanny. The doctors say they found evidence of blood clots in the thighs of computer users, resulting from sitting in one position in front of a computer for an extended period of time. The doctors say you should get up and walk around every now and then to stimulate circulation in the lower half of your body. time for a look at software, and here's our reviewer, Paul Schindler.
Much as I'd like to spend some time looking you in the eye today, this package is so spectacular that, well, let's go to the screen. You're looking at Perspective, the best graphics package produced so far. The data for all these graphics comes from simple spreadsheets. They're controlled by 5 function keys, clearly indicated by a large menu. Get a load of this first set of selections that allow you to decide what kind of 3D graphics you want to draw. There are 32 choices here. You just point at the one you want. Then, from another menu, you select the view you want from a menu of 16 angles. Plus, if you don't like any of the 16 views that Perspective offers you, there's a rotation section which lets you look at graphs any way you want. Even if you don't want to change perspectives on a graph, this section of the program is fun to play with as a toy. Finally, the size and location of the labels can be adjusted easily. And this program will soon be available in color. Perspective is $300 from 3D Graphics in Pacific Palisades, California. For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Paul Schindler.
Business Week magazine says this should be a good Christmas season for software sales. Best sellers are expected to be home printing programs like Broderbund's Print Shop and adventure games, especially Infocom's new Leather Goddesses of Phobos. If you're still looking for Christmas gift ideas, we have yet a few more tips for you from other sources. Syndicated computer columnist John Dvorak likes a new game for the Macintosh called Smash Hit Racquetball. And for the PC crowd, he picks Traveling Sidekick as a great gift item. On the hardware side, Dvorak suggests the Bectec Fanny Mac, a cooling fan for the Macintosh, or the Curtis Computer Toolkit, including pin straighteners, chip pullers, and other goodies. And Family Computing magazine has come up with its picks for the best computer gifts of the season. In hardware, the magazine picks the Atari 1040 ST as the best deal in a computer, the Tandy Model 102 is the best portable, the Toshiba P321 is the best printer, the NEC Multisync is the best monitor, and the Leading Edge Model L as the best deal in a modem. Finally, public television station WGBH in Boston has come up with an innovative way to raise money and take advantage of the high number of computer users in the Boston area. In February, WGBH will be conducting the world's first online auction as a fundraiser. Over 400 computer-related items will be up for bid, and all the action will take place online, not on the air. That means you can participate in the auction and watch Masterpiece Theater at the same time. That's it for this week's Chronicles. We'll see you next time.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible by Leading Edge, makers of IBM-compatible computer systems, including Lotus Lookalike Spreadsheet, word processing with spelling correction, communication software, and Hayes-compatible 1200 baud modem. Leading Edge, with over 1,000 service centers nationwide. Additional funding is provided by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte. Byte's detailed technical articles on new hardware, software, and languages cover developments in computer technology worldwide.
Let's see, I'll give this to Gary, that to George, I'll give that to Paul, and that to Wendy. Hi, if your friends are into computers, software, or peripherals can make a great Christmas present during this holiday season. Today, we're going to give you our favorite suggestions for holiday gifts from the computer store on this edition of the Computer Chronicles.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by CompuServe, featuring an online reference library, Wall Street reports, at-home shopping, airline reservations, games, and hundreds of other services. CompuServe, helping people get the most from computers. Additional funding is provided by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte. Byte's detailed technical articles on new hardware, software, and languages cover developments in computer technology worldwide.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee, and this is Santa Claus Kildall over here.
Merry Christmas, Stuart.
Merry Christmas to you, Gary. Gary, I asked you to come up with an idea, a gift idea for Christmas for a computer user, and you brought this whole operation here. Now, what is this that you got?
This is called a Sony picture computer. It's this little box right down here. And you use it to add pictures and titles and things to your home VCR movies.
Show me how you
It has a charge coupled device scanner. It's this device here. You take a piece of paper to make a little drawing on it like this. And for example, this might be a title for the trip to New York. Set it over the top, sight through it, and push the little start button. And we'll see the black and white image come up on the screen as it's scanning process.
Okay, so you're scanning a little drawing you made, and we're making now titles for our home video of our trip to New York.
Right. Now when the scanning process gets finished, we're going to use the controls on the scanner to fill in the colors. Okay, now it gets to the right here. We'll see a little color palette appear down the lower right-hand corner.
Okay.
There it is. Okay. Now I'm going to select a red color for the apple here, and move this cursor down. You see a little X down there. We'll paint that in. Okay. And then I'm going to go up and color the stem. I'll have to select another color here. We'll take. I'll find a green in here. There's a green. Okay, so move this up, center the cursor again, and then paint that in.
That green.
Okay.
Okay.
And we'll move up here and get the letters. Take a. Oh, let's try a yellow with that one.
Okay.
Find a yellow. Okay, paint that in, and then we'll move over here to the end. Paint that, and then I'll go over here and get the exclaim.
Okay.
Move up here. Now you can also get a little trackball that goes with this, makes this operation a little bit faster. Yeah. And I'm also going to zoom in on this one little piece so we can see that. So
okay, so you've got a 2x zoom function in there.
Now we can take a look at that, paint that in, and then we're back again. Now we've got our picture painted. We can use this to include in our VCR taping.
Okay, so I could roll. I just happen to have some video, home video, which Gary took in New York. And we
here it comes.
Okay, there's
now
the
this
video.
is a standard shaking until it's non-professional. Here's our scanned image.
Okay.
Now we'll put superimpose in there. And we have our titles on top of it.
Professional titles. Okay, how much does that thing cost?
This is around $400.
Not a bad Christmas idea. Okay, in just a minute, we're going to be joined by the rest of the Computer Chronicles gang, George Morrow, Paul Schindler, Wendy Woods, with all their suggestions for Christmas gifts for the computer user on your list. First of all, let's go out to the retail stores and see what the hot-selling items are right now in the computer stores during this holiday season.
For almost every retail store, Christmas is the biggest selling event of the year. The colorful decorations are vivid reminders of the commercial importance of the holidays, and 1987 is no exception. Nervous computer retailers are watching carefully to see if Wall Street's October crash was a harbinger of bad times. But that doesn't seem to be the case, at least for now.
So far, that type of bad news activity hasn't really put a dent in our business. Our customers don't even really talk about it or mention it. Probably has a lot to do with the general population who we do business with on a daily basis probably don't have a significant amount of money tied up in the stock market to begin with. So whether the stock market went up or went down really didn't affect them at all. We've seen a significant surge in business. November was a strong month altogether, and we thought we would conclude strong, but it seemed like it's almost doubled itself within the last 3 days. So people certainly are out there ready to buy.
Christmas buying has a big impact on both sales volume and on the kind of product that sells. Games, for example, represent up to 75% of holiday software sales at this store. But the popularity of entertainment software doesn't mean that Yuletide shoppers are less sophisticated. They seem to be getting more selective.
We're finding that people now are maybe buying their second machine, trading up, trading in. There's capabilities for customers to trade in, and we can now resale used applications. Well, Christmas time gives us a chance to build new customers. And then Christmas sales will lead into sales for the next 9 months. Basically, we use the last 3 months of the year to capitalize on the 9 months of business that we've been working on so hard.
Shopping for a computer can lead to a very expensive Christmas. But if most buyers view the holiday season with financial anxiety, for other, more innocent shoppers, it means a lot more.
Joining us in the studio now, in addition to Santa Claus Kildall over here, is George Morrow, our regular host and commentator and chief scientist at Nestar. And next to George, Wendy Woods, our regular reporter. Wendy, of course, is also editor-in-chief of News Bites. Gary, start.
I want to see what George has got for us here.
Well, I've got a lot of things. The first thing is a piece of software called Byline. It's, I think, the best piece of desktop publishing software that's come around the pike. It's about $300. It's written by a fellow who used to be a professional writer and has turned himself into a programmer. It allows you to import from almost any kind of other program that creates files like DBase 3 or any of the spreadsheet programs. It allows you to bring those into a document and format them any way you want and publish them. And you don't have to fiddle with the file itself. The file stays just the way you want. It has got to be, I think it's going to be the standard in what civilized desktop
It's pretty new, right?
It's pretty new. It's just coming out. Ashton Tate is distributing it. It's a great piece of software.
A good starter for a person who wants to get into desktop publishing.
A good starter, and I think it's got a lot of horsepower. I think it's got the horsepower to last quite a while. Now, the second, you know, these days, we're in the transition between 3.5-inch drives and 5 1/4. Well, this is a perfect product. It's called LapLink. It's about $100. It comes with a cable that you can't make a mistake with because it has...
It's got one of everything.
It's got both kinds of connectors at either way, and it'll plug into any pair of serial ports. You plug it in, you bring it up. It's got a 3.5-inch diskette and a 5 1/4-inch diskette. And it's the most civilized, easy-to-use program to transfer files that I've ever seen. I use it all the time.
For the transition.
I not only use it for my portables, but I use it when I want to transfer files across normal computers too. It's really good. Now, the third piece of software that I think is good for Christmas is a piece of software called Higgins. Higgins is a piece of personal productivity software. I have it on my portable that I carry with me all the time. I mean, you guys won't be able to see much of this, but Wendy, this is the screen as it comes up. It's got an appointment, all my things, my activities in the day. It has a calendar. It has a directory. I'm able to come in here and look at anybody's name and address I want. I can go view this fellow, and suppose I want to call him. All I do is press telephone, and the thing, it'll dial. It keeps track of MCI Sprint numbers. I can dial all over the world. It keeps track of expenses. It'll do almost anything I want. If I have an appointment and I need to call somebody, I can call up that appointment. I can move over to the person's file whose phone number I have and make the phone call all in about 4 or 5 keystrokes. It's got to be the best piece of personal productivity software I've run into. I can't afford a secretary anymore. And this takes the place of it, and it makes me more effective.
It's well named than Higgins.
Higgins, right.
And how much is this one, George?
This is, I think, around $200. So we have one for $300, one for $200, and one for $100.
Okay, so George's picks are Byline and LapLink and Higgins. Great Christmas products. Christmas ideas, okay? Gary, what do you got here?
Okay, well, this is one.
Fancy
now this is kind of an interesting device. This is called the Complete Hand Scanner. It comes from Complete PC, and the idea is that you get a low-cost way of getting images into a computer system. Well, here's a Gary Larson cartoon. Okay. It's one of my favorites, actually. Now, what I got to do is start this thing. I'll get the Enter key, and I'm going to scan this as a 5-inch image. Okay. And so I hit the F2 key here, and then hold this button down, and then you'll see the image coming up here.
There it is.
So you're manually just sliding that
across there. Okay, then we get to the end of it. Yeah, it's not too bad. And then we get to the end of this thing. We hit a key, and then that stores that away. Now we get a little menu down here. We can change the size of it, scale it to, let's say, scale it down by half. Now we can also rotate this around a little bit. Rotate it in one direction. There we go.
Right. Yeah, upside down.
Upside down is good. Yeah, right side up. Or you can crop, erase, and then they also have a stationary package, a little word processor, so you can bring the
build up your own letterhead with the
letterhead. Put your image in there with some text and ship it out.
How much was this, Gary?
This is $249.
It's really fast.
Yeah, it is.
And I think commercial scanners are probably what, $2,000 or something.
Not bad. Okay, my turn. You were talking about portables. I travel a lot. For the people who are into portables, I've got a whole kit full of toys here, depending on what your price range is too. I guess one of the newest portables out is this Toshiba T1000. Very inexpensive. You can get it for $800. George, you tell me you can even get it for less than that.
I've seen it in Computer Shopper for around $650.
I like it. It's the smallest, lightest thing around, about 6 pounds. Very inexpensive. It has a couple limitations. Only one drive, not backlit. The battery isn't replaceable, and so on. But
boy, it's got to be the lightest machine around, though.
You want to just stick it in your briefcase and have it fully compatible, do everything you want, load any kind of software into it.
Stuart, how long do the batteries last? Do you know?
4 hours or so. There's a couple of things. You can put a RAM card in there. That eats up some battery power. You can put the modem inside there. That eats up a lot of battery power. What people are doing is instead getting this little baby, WorldPort 1200. We've seen this before. Has its own 9-volt battery in there. You can use it on any computer. Plug it into your portable. Plug it into your PC when you use it. That's about what, $150 or $200?
That's the modem part.
Yeah, that's the modem. Something in that range. Now, a really neat thing is this printer from Diconics. This is a battery-operated printer. Very clever. George, you like this? Look what they did. The batteries go in here inside the platinum thing. They're rechargeable C-cells. Isn't that clever? So you don't have to waste any room with the batteries. Very nice copy. Very quiet. Inkjet printer. Uses a standard HP inkjet. Relatively inexpensive, $300–400, an excellent quality print, pretty fast, 150 characters per second
Stuart,
in draft mode.
Next year I'll bet you they'll have this thing not only as a printer but also as a scanner, and a fax machine.
A couple other real quick things. If you're a portable user and a modem user, you run into a hotel, you can't get into the phone because it's hardwired. All you do is unscrew the mouthpiece, screw this thing on the mouthpiece, plug your jack in, and you can use a phone anywhere, even if it's hardwired.
And is it two-way? Does that give you two-way or just one-way?
Two-way. It's regular. Wow. Same as
how much is that?
This is about $45. It's a terrific tool if you.
And where can I get it?
I've only seen it mail order. I've never really seen it in the store. One last thing, if you're really on a budget bit, you only want to spend a couple of bucks. It's about $20 again if you go into 3.5-inch discs like you were talking about. You take all your little things, put them in here, carry them around in your pocket. I think it's $19.95, so it's kind of a
traveling software, right?
So if you're into portable stuff, here's all kinds of portable things for you. Julie.
Well, this isn't exactly
what is Julie, Wendy?
For the computer user, it's for the kids. Julie is what's supposed to be the world's most sophisticated doll. It's got a 64K memory. It's got voice synthesizer.
Hi, my name is Julie.
Voice recognition chips in it. It will learn secret words. Children can talk to them. Let's see if I can communicate with her. Julie?
Let's have a party.
Julie?
Ooh, it's nice.
Well, Julie is...
See if you can straighten her out a little bit, Wendy. Okay.
Julie is not listening to me like most children. But there she goes. Okay, be quiet.
Are we making too much noise?
That's right, we are. Okay.
Let's have a party.
Oh, she really is hooked on this party business. Anyway, one of the other features that she has is she has a motion detector in her, so that if she is moved suddenly, she will know it and she'll respond by saying, are we going somewhere? She also has a temperature sensor in her. I put her in the freezer just momentarily, and she indeed did say it's getting colder. And then she comes with a book.
Well, how about, does she have a light detector also?
That's right. She has a light detector, so if it's getting dark.
She says it's dark?
Right. If I put a sheet over her head or something, she would say, it's getting dark in here. And then she'd say, it's getting light. All these little things are hidden inside here. And she comes with a book, which has these little pads on them, and if you put her fingers against them, she'll respond to what's in the book. It's a neat little toy.
What does Julie cost, Wendy?
About $100.
And it comes from?
A Worlds of Wonder.
So it's got a lot of the technology we've seen on the show for the last year or so.
More. Look, it has motion detector, it has heat detection, and it has light detection.
It's a robot, really, called Julie. Okay, Wendy, thanks. We're going to be back with some more toys for Christmas in just a minute, so stay with us. Welcome back to the studio. We've got George Morrow, Wendy Woods, and Santa Claus Gary Kildall here again with a couple more great ideas for Christmas gifts. And let's see, Gary, we're going to start with Wendy because she's something really interesting.
Who's this guy?
This is Mr. Game Show. It's a new toy from Galoob. And,
hi, everybody.
That's a toy company.
So, what game should we play? Any famous phrases?
He's a little bit obnoxious, but what he is
the word?
He's got chips in here.
B, a cassette game.
Let me turn him off for a second. He's got chips in here. He's got a 700 phrase vocabulary, and there are 4 different games. And depending on which game you pick, either you use this touchpad, and the lights light up around here, and he comes back with all kinds of insults and compliments, depending on whether you do well or you don't. He can handle up to 4 players at once, and he can just go on and on.
Well, what age level? This is the money that you win?
Oh yes, you win money, and you can put in a cassette for extra games. This is the trivia games are on cassette.
It's a data cassette or an audio cassette?
It's an audio cassette.
So how much is it?
It's about $100 at major department stores. It's just being sold.
What age level would it be aimed at, Wendy?
Gee, you know, it's funny because I have a teenage babysitter who can't stand it, but his father loves it.
It's for kids like us, you mean?
Wendy was playing it for me before the show, and as much as I hate these game shows on TV, I found it kind of interesting.
It's kind of funny.
So it's a kind of collection of computer games without a computer, and you can really just play it with
just shows you what modern electronics is finally doing with the toy industry. This is a good example.
How it's destroying.
All right, I understand, Wendy, you have to go do your Christmas shopping, so if you want to unwire yourself, you're allowed to take off now.
Thanks.
Okay,
Gary, what do you got?
Video works too, and it's an animation, presentations for home, office, school, things of that sort.
For the Mac.
And for the Mac. And apparently it works just like the old style animation where you lay down a scene, then you put another scene on top of that and move things across it and so forth. Yeah.
Who makes it, Gary?
Let's see.
Macromind.
Macromind, okay.
And how much is it?
$200. $200.
Now here's an example of it right here. We've got a racetrack set up, and I'm going to start the play, and we'll see the race cars come up to line up, and you've got a little guy waving his flag, and off they go. And they're coming around the backstretch there.
We don't have color or sound here, Gary, but you can have color and sound in this, can't you?
Right.
It's pretty good animation.
Yeah. It looks like it'd be a really interesting thing to play around with.
And to use, as you say, for business purposes, too.
Stuart, what are these things you have here?
Okay, Gary, you get business class up, okay? And I'm going to show George these little toys over here. He's been talking expensive things, $200, and before in the other segment, expensive stuff. This is $50, a very interesting program called Ask God.
Ask God.
Claims to be an artificial intelligence program. Basically, it's a database of the Bible.
George Burns wrote it?
I don't know if George Burns, or maybe he's in there, I don't know. Anyhow, so if you have a question, you really want to find out what does the Bible say about a particular subject, you can type in a natural language question. I want to know the meaning of the abundant life, for example, and it'll pull out every phrase from the Bible that talks about the abundant life. So it's kind of an interesting thing, especially for the Christmas season, called
Stuart, what churches have blessed this thing?
I don't know that anybody's blessed it yet, but it's $49 and it's an interesting present for Christmas. Real quickly, something called Daily Features. This is only $15 or $17, something like that. It's kind of a nice gift for your secretary if she uses a computer. When she turns the computer on every morning, it comes up with a quotation of the day, an inspirational quote, a word to learn for the day, and it also comes up with a trivia question for the day.
So it's those pads,
like one of those pads on a disc. Real quickly, $6.95, only $6.95. Fortune cookies on a disc. Put it in your computer. Every time you turn your computer on, you get a fortune. Wow. Gary, you got business class up there?
Business class. This is by Activision. And the idea here is that basically if you're a world traveler and you'd like to find out what the customs or the money exchange, whatever it is throughout the world, you just click on it.
You're going to go
I'm going to click on
it looks like we're going down to England.
And we're going to go right down to London. And we arrive at London and we'll say, well, what we'd like to find is the customs. Okay. And we'll click on the customs, the handshake there, find out about tipping, the language, and so forth. And you can see that we've got a number of things like the exchange rate. Looks like we have airline travel schedules, a variety of other hospital information.
This needs HyperCard to run.
Yes, it does.
Now with HyperCard, how much?
It's $50 this one is. It's a HyperCard stack from Activision, I think is Gary.
Now, how much is the HyperCards?
That's
only $50 too. I think you buy the or it comes for nothing, I think, if you buy a new Mac right now.
Pretty nice.
Okay, we've got about 30 seconds left. What do you want for Christmas, George?
I'd like one of these Kloss projection monitors so I can put my things up on a screen anytime.
You're a high-priced customer.
Yeah, well,
Gary, what do you want?
I'll take an ETAC car navigation system. How's that?
Can you actually buy that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. What was your car?
I bet his ETAC is as expensive as my Kloss.
Gentlemen, we're out of time. I hope you get what you wanted. Thanks for joining us in this special holiday edition of the Chronicles. Hope we'll see you again next week.
Cynthia Steele sitting in for Stuart Chaffee. In the random access file this week, researchers at the University of Idaho say they have developed a microchip 100 times faster than any previously known chip. The chip is made of gallium arsenide and it runs at 320 megahertz. That means it can handle 320 million data characters per second. The designers say the chip could actually run at 1 gigahertz or 1 billion cycles per second. The new super speedy chip was designed for NASA to be used in the new space shuttle. Meanwhile, researchers at IBM say they have developed developed a magnetic disk which can hold 10 gigabits of information on one 3.5-inch disk. That is the equivalent of 620,000 pages of double-spaced typing on one disk, more than 50 times greater than the existing disk capacity. The breakthrough was accomplished by creating disk tracks that are only half a micron, or only 20 millionths of an inch wide. If you've gotten stuck in the crack between email users and fax machine users, there may be an answer in sight. DA Systems of Campbell, California has announced the GeoNet mailbox systems, which will interface email and fax systems. At the moment, the system will only support text and is one-directional from email to fax, but it will enable PC users to send mail directly to another person's fax machine. Lotus has reported the results of a survey it just completed on the future of OS 2, and the outlook is quite rosy. A majority of computer managers said they expect OS 2 to become the dominant operating system within the next 5 years. They cited the benefits of multitasking and better memory management, and they expressed confidence that software developers would adopt OS 2 and come out with more powerful and sophisticated applications to take advantage of the new operating system. Lotus also announced this week the release of a new network version of 123 called 123 Networker. The new version of Release 2 of the popular spreadsheet program will support 5 users on a single file. It's pricey, $2,475, but it does come with 5 manuals and it is not copy protected. Time now for Paul Schindler to join in with his software picks for the Christmas shopping season. Here's our special holiday edition of Paul's Software Review.
Ho, 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 ho. Here we are in my actual den, the room in my house in which I do my reviewing, as well as my real job as senior editor of Information Week magazine. Once again this year, with the help of my associate, San Francisco consultant Richard Dalton, I found some Christmas goodies. First, from Simon & Schuster Software comes a $10 gift, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, an animated musical Christmas card. It starts off with jingle bells and some Santa animation. It then offers a nicely illustrated version of The Night Before Christmas. You control the pace of the text. There's a Christmas game which involves moving around pieces of a puzzle. I'm not very good at puzzles, as you can see. You can also use it to write a letter to Santa, and you can legally make copies for your friends. 'Twas the Night Before Christmas is $10. We step up a notch and move over to the Apple computer with Science Toolkit's Body Module, a $40 software package from Broderbund. I can't say enough good things about Broderbund in general and the Science Toolkit in particular. It's well-written software that's fun and educational. Now, there's lots of things you can do with the package, but we're just going to show 3 of them quickly. You can measure your heart rate, measure the volume of air in your lungs, and measure your response time. Science Toolkit Body Lab is $40. At the outer limits of reasonable pricing is Microsoft Bookshelf. Now you see, I've got my dictionary over there and my almanacs and reference manuals over here, but they're all contained on this one $300 CD-ROM, where I can access them instantly from my word processor. It's a great gift for a writer. We're going to wrap up with 2 luxury items that any PC owner would die for. If your loved one sends and receives a lot of facsimile, why not lay out $500 for this facsimile card from The Complete PC? No more fax machine. Let your PC do it. Or the ultimate Christmas computer gift, a $1,495 scanner from Dest, which can digitize most typewritten material and store it on a personal computer. No more retyping documents. What a concept! This is the software for it. With some Christmas suggestions and best wishes for your holiday season, I'm Paul Ho 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 Schindler for the Computer Chronicles.
Commodore is about to announce several new products for 1988, among them an AT coprocessor board called the Bridge Board. They'll also be announcing a new high-resolution monitor for the Amiga. The juiciest rumor is about the new Amiga 3000, which will have 9 megabytes of RAM and a 50 megabyte hard disk plus separate animation and graphics chips. A state legislator in California is using personal computers to bring the government to the people and vice versa. Representative Gwen Moore has started her own legislative bulletin board called There Ought to Be a Law. Her constituents can leave suggestions for new legislation on the board. She's promised to forward all suggestions to the appropriate committees and give users feedback on the dispositions of their suggestions. Finally, someone has turned the Macintosh into a poet. In fact, there are about 500 Macs scattered around the country right now in greeting card shops disguised as the computer poet. For $2.95, the Mac will ask you a few questions about the object of your affections and then compose a more or less custom-made poem for you. You can select from a variety of holiday environments such as Christmas or graduation, birthday or anniversary. There's also a home version of the Computer Poet software available. It's $29 and it runs on a PC compatible, an Apple II or an Atari ST. And that's it for this week's Random Access. I'm Cynthia Steele.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by CompuServe, featuring an online reference library, Wall Street reports, at-home shopping, airline reservations, games, and hundreds of other services. CompuServe, helping people get the most from computers. Additional funding is provided by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte. Byte's detailed technical articles on new hardware, software, and languages cover developments in computer technology worldwide.
For some people, Christmas is a year-round business, but for most of us, it means thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to get him or her as a Christmas present? Well, if the him or her on your shopping list is a computer user, it's easy. You know exactly what they want. Some neat new software, a nice peripheral, or maybe a little laptop. Today, we have a list of great gift suggestions for the computer user on your Christmas shopping list on this special holiday edition of the Computer Chronicles.
Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte magazine, and Bix, the Byte Information Exchange. In print and online, Byte and Bix serve computer professionals worldwide with detailed information on new hardware, software, and technologies.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee, and this is Santa Claus. I know you, Gary Kildall. Gary, I know you're a high-tech junkie. You've got all the toys you can think of, from a Lamborghini to a computerized video editing system. I've got something you would like for Christmas. This is the new compact 286 SLT laptop. Runs on batteries, 3 hours worth, beautiful VGA screen. Very small, 14 pounds, can fit in your lap on an airplane, even in coach. Removable keyboard, removable battery pack, so you can even get more than the 3 hours. It's just a nice little machine. The only catch is, you really have to be Santa Claus to afford this one. It's about $6,000. Gary, ideally, if you could have anything you wanted from the computer industry for Christmas, what would it be?
Well, Stuart, I've been waiting around for the Dynabook. This is a concept that was introduced at Xerox PARC early 70s. 8.5 by 11, maybe a 3-hole punch computer. Right. Fits in your briefcase or notebook. And the idea, as the name implies, it's a book. It's an electronic book. You can learn everything from calculus to whatever your high school courses happen to be, along with recipes and cookbooks, whatever. Real compact form. The nice thing about it is all the technologies are coming together now, so we can actually have one of these things maybe by next Christmas. Small disk drives, hard disk drives, small floppy disk drives, little itty-bitty CD-ROMs, things like that, and they're all coming together very, very low power. So we could have one. So Karen, if you're watching, next Christmas Santa wants a Dynabook.
Okay, the super portable. Today we're going to be joined by Jan Lewis, Paul Schindler, Wendy Woods, and a sack full of great presents for the computer user on your holiday shopping list. We start out by visiting a computer retailer to find out what products are hot this Christmas shopping season.
Once a year, computer hardware and software vendors become just like other retailers, who count on Christmas shoppers to round out the year's sales. New technology displaces the old, while old favorites like flight simulators and adventure games are solidly popular. While it's been over 10 years since the first Apple IIs hit the market, retailers haven't seen a slowdown in consumer buying.
Well, I'm always scared to death of the market being saturated, but no, it doesn't look like it is at all. People are still buying the basic PCs, which a lot of the manufacturers have abandoned, yet people really do still want them. And then there are the other group of people who have the PCs and are upgrading particularly to something like a 386 computer, which is much faster and is capable of doing things PCs can't do.
Among new items this year is a database of city street maps called Streets. For those who travel by car, the program will plot the most efficient route from point A to point B in major American cities, although it won't predict accidents, traffic jams, or breakdowns. Also new this year is a game for almost grown-ups called Looking for Love, about a clumsy but determined young rogue named Larry. Players can choose different levels of play, from pure innocence to lurid excess. For the information-hungry, there's Microsoft Bookshelf, a CD-ROM-based collection of reference works. Starting from a single word, Bookshelf will search through its encyclopedia, almanac, and dictionary until it hits upon the exact link. Of course, you need a CD-ROM player to use it. This year, more than ever, it seems like everyone is selling software, from toy stores to department stores. But that doesn't seem to worry the corner computer store.
Thank you, sir. Joining us in the studio now is a new version of Santa Claus. This is Paul Schindler this time, our regular software reviewer and the senior technical analyst with PC Week magazine. Next to Paul, another familiar face, Jan Lewis, who is the founding editor of Hyper Age magazine and the president of Lewis Research. Gary.
We've got all sorts of good Christmas
suggestions
suggestions here on the table, and Santa's going to start out.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, ho, ho, ho. Richard Dalton of Keep Trek Corporation, as usual, helped me pick the stuff that I wanted to mention for the Christmas show. For a mere $40, you can get Ken Skier's No Squint, one of the hot laptop utilities, turns your little line into a square so you can see your cursor, and it only takes up 1,000 bytes of memory, which in a laptop is a critical circumstance. Now, you've got a desk full of floppies, I've got a desk full of floppies, everybody's got a desk full of floppies. If they are 3.5-inch floppies, Macintosh and the new IBM format, for a mere $40 from Vertical Solutions in Olympia, Washington, you can get this dandy little vertical disk storage box. Holds 240 disks, and you can find what you need for a change.
Okay.
Tony Pompili works with me at PC Week. He and several others have written Ventura Publishing. It's a mere $40 in bookstores everywhere, and the reason you're paying $40 is you got a floppy inside of it with a bunch of formats that you can use to become an instant publisher. I know you did a show earlier this season on disk utilities. Optune is going to give Peter Norton a run for his money in making your disk work faster. Groupware, the hot buzzword of 1988, and before it peters out in '89, Robert Johansson,
Get the book now.
of the Institute for the Future, for a mere $30, has written the authoritative description of Groupware, which really is going to be important in the future. And of course, Peter Norton's very latest, version 4.5, with his Disk Doctor, 31 ways to tell how sick your disk is. But more importantly, this is artificial intelligence-assisted disk repair. And for those of us who lack the real thing, artificial intelligence can be really important. And that is $110. Finally, $500, but a truly remarkable breakthrough from Quadram. This is the first essentially it's a portable fax card. Instead of having to open up the case and slip a card in and disrupt your buses and the whole line of problems, you put this attaches to the COM port on your PC, and if you're in an office, you just move it from PC to PC. Whoever needs the fax card, they get the fax card. I think it's a fantastic innovation, a clever idea, and it works just as well. It receives faxes just as well as the regular fax cord, which may or may not be something proper to say about it.
Okay, Gary, what do you have for us?
I'm on. Okay. Well, if you're tired of playing flight simulator games, you can try Formula One. Our 12-year-old Forrest will tell you that this is a really good game because it's real hard to get them away from it.
Race car drivers.
Race car drivers.
Okay.
And you can go into the Monaco courses, Germany, Brazil, Japan, so forth, and race all the great drivers. I think this is probably around $30 if I remember correctly. Another one that's kind of neat here is Home Video Producer. And this is about $30, $35, whatever. And it lets you make up the titles for your own home recording.
Desktop video.
Desktop video, exactly. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show this, basically. And I've got the whole system up here and running. I've kind of preloaded it with some things. The first panel down here shows an effect. Well, each one of these in the slideshow is an effect of some sort. This is a border effect. This will be a fill of a picture. And this is some text effects. Now, below those, you'll see things like a wipe from the right, the time it takes to make the wipe and so forth. And I'll go ahead and just run this so you can take a look at it. This is going to be a title for a little movie that Christy did yesterday for the show. Okay.
So you created the title in the software.
That's correct. Now all we need to do is then cable this off to our home video recorder.
It comes with a cable that attaches to the card.
You use a regular connector like this. Okay. So let's go ahead and run this so I can find the right panel. There it is.
You see, I do titles, but I have to go to a local studio and I have to pay him $30 an hour to do the titles. You pay $30 once, you've got this, and
that's right.
They're out of business.
Well, the resolution may not be quite as good as
what's
the
this, Gary?
commercial. Okay, now this is going to be the preface of our little movie here. So here's the wipe from the right for the first panel. Here's the picture, nice. Wipe from the left, and the text coming out. Pokey meets Godzilla. Okay, now here's the great peripheral for your home video or your desktop video. 8mm integrated recorder playback TV set.
VCR and TV
VCR and TV set, right. About $1,300, I believe. Now here's our little movie. We'll put this in here. Now normally what you do is you'd cable these two up and then you just go ahead and hit the record button when you have the title up
and record the effects onto the tape.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and play this.
This is the movie you did the title for.
This is
there it is.
Christie's, yeah. Okay, here we go.
High level of work you're into, Gary.
Pokey meets Godzilla. Whoops, there it is.
Don't try this at home, kids. Right? This was not done on a home unit, was it? Right?
No,
That's right. It's still beautiful.
Gary, you actually got the titles with the video coming out of the computer, without Genlock or any of the fancy stuff.
So it's right off a CGA card. That is a restriction, by the way, as far as I can tell, is a CGA.
Yeah.
Jan, what do you have for us?
We have a few real good things, and real useful things. One of the focuses here is going to be the laptops, and they've really picked up, as you know, for the past couple of years. There are some problems, and these products here are going to solve them. Traveling Software, who's come up with a lot of good, innovative ideas, came up with something called Battery Watch. It's a simple disc, and what happens is it'll actually watch your batteries as they run down, just like you watch a fuel gauge in a car. So you're not stuck at the end saying you're out of batteries and you're 300 miles from a wall outlet. The other thing that it does is when you have to recharge them, you have to basically, ideally, discharge everything in it and then go ahead and recharge. This does that. It's called the deep discharge. Yeah, and that does it automatically for you. Very, very handy, useful. This is a $39 product.
That's great.
From the same company, $79 product, the Ultimate Portable Attaché. And what happens here is that typically, even though it's portable, you're still carrying around a lot of different components, different pieces. What happens here is you fit your portable in here. They have a little pack for software. There's room for cables. There's a spot here for your printer. And then there's a whole lot of extra little pouches and things in here. So it makes it real, real handy.
Very good for a laptop user.
Yeah, it's wonderful for a laptop user.
Okay.
And then the last one I have is something that's very, very useful to a huge number of people who are sitting there with PCs or XTs or compact equivalents. And what this is the Intel Inboard 386 PC. And what happens is it's a simple board for about $1,100. You put it into your PC or XT or equivalent compact, and it basically turns your machine into a 386 machine. So
$1,000 for the bargain.
$1,000 and you got a 386, exactly.
That's fantastic. Okay, my turn. I have a couple goodies here I want to show you. First of all, this is a nice inexpensive thing, a little software program. It's mail order. Nobody's ever heard of it, called Do Color. Problem is right now, all the hot software comes requiring CGA. A lot of people still have monochrome monitors, a Hercules card or something. They can't use it. This little software fakes the game or the program you have into thinking you have CGA and lets you run the programming. It's from a company called Wilkinson Software, Westminster, California, $30, called Do Color. This is a lovely little item. If you have a crowded desk and a big AT keyboard, this solves the problem. This is 60% smaller than the AT keyboard. It's XT or AT compatible. A wonderful little keyboard. As you can see, it just takes up very little space on your desk. $150
it's
for that
one. It's got a nice
one.
feel to it also.
It's not bad at all. Now, the hot one I want to show you over here is what's up on the PC over here. Most people think if you don't have a Mac, you don't have an Amiga, an Atari, you can't do music. Well, this is called AdLib. It's a card and software, $245, which lets you do very powerful music composition on an IBM PC. This is in the jukebox mode right now, and just to show you what the thing sounds like, we have Jingle Bells loaded in here right now. And you see a little record turning at the top, and you can just call up any of those songs. Not too bad, but it's not just a jukebox program. Let me show you what else we can do to get out of this thing and actually get into the composition program. I guess I'd have to hit F2 to stop and get out of this particular program and go into Composer. And it's a pretty powerful little program which lets you do full music visual composition, lots of different voices. You can see everything that's going on. I'll show you in a minute a particular song which I tried to create, which is loaded in here and which isn't too good, but it's all right. It shows you it is human and it makes the same mistakes you do. And there's a little piece of music which we put in there. And you can see the visual composer on the screen. Don't laugh at my music here. This is Christmas music. Keyboard on the left, all the notes you play, you put them in there, all the different voices and so on. Very nice. Lets you do music on a PC for $245. One little last thing, very cheap, $395. If you're a CompuServe user and you get lost on CompuServe and you'd like to know where everything is, the final map of CompuServe, exactly where all the things are, and that's the end of that.
$3.95.
$3.95. Now, yes, Virginia, there is a Macintosh also, and in just a minute we'll be back with lots of hot Christmas gifts for the Mac user on your list, so stay with us. Joining us in the studio now is our reporter Wendy Woods, and Wendy also, of course, editor-in-chief of News Bites. Back again, Jan Lewis, Paul Schindler, Gary. Let's go to Jan.
Let's go to Jan directly.
Great. We've got some real exciting Macintosh products for Christmas. First one I want to show you is called Mac Recorder. It's a real simple device. It plugs right into the Macintosh, and what it does is it allows you to record. It's got a built-in mic, it's got a space for a mic or a space for a line. You can go directly from your stereo, let's say. You record whatever you want, you then bring it into the computer, you can play it back, or you can apply a variety of different special effects to it and play it back. So it's tremendously fun. I've done a lot of things just recording off of TV, let's say.
An audio recorder.
It's audio recording, it digitizes it, and gets it into the Macintosh. It's a lot of fun. But it's Mac Recorder. It's from Farallon Software.
How much, do you know?
And it's $199. Okay. Real fun product. Another one we want to talk about is called Hyper Animator, and this thing will blow you away. What this does basically is, let's say it'll take pictures of your face, let's say 30 different frames of your face, put it in there, and then apply speech to it, and using the frames from your space will actually make it look like you're doing the talking.
It's great. We did this at Macworld, by the way.
Did you? Yeah.
So it was wonderful.
This is a wonderful product.
Your own Max Headroom, as it were.
That's right.
Then we've got a HyperCard program here called a series called Amanda Stories. This series is features a couple of main characters, one of them being a camel called Your Faithful Camel. And this one I thought was particularly appropriate for the Christmas show. What you have here is your camel on a flying carpet, which comes from another one of the series, doing various things at the North Pole. And we're going to see, let's say he's going to open a suitcase. What's in here? Well, there seems to be some sort of garment in here. there, and sure enough, it's a parka.
Is this sort of a kid's adventure game under HyperCard?
This is, yes. It's designed for anybody from 3 and up, and theoretically it's for kids, but I know an awful lot of adults who enjoy playing it, including myself, as a matter of fact. And you actually go through a series of adventures. There are multiple paths here. Let's take a look. This one is beckoning us. We have got polar bear here, and look at the little baby polar bear waves. And let's see what we got down here.
It's eating you, I guess.
Given the alternatives, yes, I'd like to be waved at. Let's see what we've got in here. They have a little game here. So the camels and the polar bear are playing a game together. And what happens here is you actually go through different adventures. Here they're on an iceberg. Let's see what else they can get to do here. They see something. Let's see what it is. You click right on it. Uh-oh, it looks like a shark. And as you see the water waves, etc. Let's see what else. Let's see what else these guys can do.
Okay, and this is called Amanda Stories.
Yeah, Amanda Stories is the name of the series.
It runs under HyperCard.
It runs under HyperCard. It has a variety of different paths. Anybody can use it, as you can see. It has a variety of different paths. You can actually, we went along one path. We saw one line of stories, but by clicking on different spots, you actually see the camels go in different directions.
So kind of creative adventure game for kids.
Exactly. You create your own story.
Okay.
Exactly.
Wendy, what are your favorite picks?
Well, actually, these are, I have 3 gifts in 3 price ranges.
Okay.
The first is for Macintosh users or IBM users, I understand. This is a great desk accessory and the kind of thing that I was hoping I could find when I first got my computer in 1983, because I have a lot of text files that I have to search through. Gopher is a desk accessory for the Macintosh which will search through any kind of word processing file, whether it's formatted or just ASCII, and it will associate words. You can say within 2 or 3 lines, these 2 words, find these 2 words. It'll allow you to cut and paste from what it finds to any other document. You can do it online, etc.
So the bit is when you can't find something.
When you can't find something, this will go through either the whole disk or a series of files or folders or whatever you specify.
I use this, by the way, and it has really saved me on a number of occasions.
Me
it's
too.
Wonderful.
Me too.
I hear it's great. It's the best on the market for text retrieval, I think.
Yeah.
And then there's the medium price. This was $80, by the way. This is the medium price gift for the Macintosh user called the Macintosh Bible, which is definitely, I keep it by my computer because it's got all the tips, tricks, and shortcuts that you need to navigate a Macintosh, which you'd have to search through manuals ad infinitum to find. This is $28, published by Goldstein and Blair. It's now in its 2nd edition printing.
Ultimate Mac Manual.
The ultimate. You can either get it from them, they're in Berkeley, or you can get it in many of the local bookstores. And finally, if you're on a budget, but you're not on a diet, this is the Chocolate Bite. It's 2 3.5-inch diskettes, which are made of 100% milk chocolate. And it's easy to install, just open mouth.
I wish everything was that easy to install.
$13.95 each from the Warehouse chain or some other local stores.
And you know, it shows the way the world is going. Last year it was a 5 1/4-inch chocolate, and now it's a 3.5-inch chocolate.
Paul, what do you have for us?
But denser. Well, I've got Crystal Quest, which I am telling you is, now I know you might dispute me on this, one of the most addictive and interesting games now available on the Mac. My 7-year-old daughter, Marlo, is absolutely mad about Crystal Quest, and she really likes it. So very humorous instructions, which we haven't got the time to go through here. I've been playing it all week, trying to get good enough at it to actually show you how things work on it. It's the mouse control is very curious. I just blew myself up there.
What do you do?
Part of the demonstration.
What's the game about?
The game is you're consuming all of these power crystals. And in fact, if you can catch up with that diamond there, it's worth tens of thousands of points. It's your basic, shooting things, eating things, and then going out the hole at the bottom. Except that, of course, I just wiped myself out.
You got to be a kid, Paul.
You got to be a kid to play it. Tremendous game. Crystal Quest, $80 for the Macintosh.
Gary, your turn.
Well, this is similar to Amanda's, the game that Jan showed us. It's called The Manhole from. Well, this is Mediagenics, also Activision division of that. And it says here on the back, it's where Alice would go if the White Rabbit had HyperCard. So it's a HyperCard game. And the same sort of ideas. You click on objects and you can explore, and it looks like a very, very interesting game. Getting off the Macintosh.
So once again, using HyperCard for really an interesting creative kids game.
Okay, what is this?
This is for all the people that like kids,
like
and
you,
the kids and the grown-up kids that like to
tell the truth. This is yours, Gary. Okay, not your son's.
Flight simulation games, and it substitutes for the joystick or the keyboard, and it gives you throttle control. Back and forth, so forth, and you can shoot them up buttons and so forth. And this is called the Max.
Yeah,
so a nice little
That's
accessory for the
great.
flight simulator people in the world.
Okay, my turn. Well, I've got 3 little goodies here I want to show you. First of all, this is brand new and a lovely little machine. If you really like little laptops, 4 pounds, the NEC Ultralight, a gorgeous little machine. About one, it's about, you were talking about Dynabook at one point in another show. This is something like that. About 8.5 by 11, very small computer. No disk drive, but it comes with 2 megabytes you can get in here of a static RAM. So you can load everything in here, never really worry about the disk drive, and of course it reduces your battery drain and so on. Rechargeable batteries. Very nice little machine. 4-pound laptop. It does everything. Now, if you're more into games and toys, this is kind of neat. You may have seen this advertised somewhere. This is called Talking Baseball. Very clever little computer and speech synthesizer in here. An announcer does play-by-play of the whole game, and of course it varies depending on the 2 players. So we just turn this little thing on.
The cheering crowd.
Brothers baseball. It's the national team and
The Mel Allen of this. Anyhow, you go on and this guy's the pitcher and this guy's the batter. You can bunt, you can steal, you can squeeze.
Put in yes or no. Yes, there will be 2 players. The Hall of Fame team is the away team and will bat first.
So you see this guy's pretty smart here. Anyhow, it's amazing. I mean, it gives you play-by-play. It never sounds the same. The guy describes the game, which is different and unique every single time.
What is this so far?
$79. It's called Talking Baseball, and it comes with these little cartridges. This happens to be an All-Star American League team versus an All-Star National League team and so on. Last but not least, if I can grab the mouse, this is a marvelous game. This is called Shuffle Puck from Broderbund. This game simulates the actual physical experience of playing air hockey. I mean, it's the same thing because the movements of the mouse are the same thing. We're in Shuffle Puck Cafe, and I pick a partner to play, or I'll pick that robot to play. So I just sort of punch on him, and here we are playing Shuffle Puck. Now, this is great.
How good is the robot, Stu?
The robot, fortunately, is not too good. That's why I picked him. Okay.
But he's good enough to score.
He just beat me. He's really the dummy. Actually, you can program the robot to play any kind of game. You see the little hand comes in and that's my serve. But it's just a marvelous game, and you can program the robot to play any way you want. So if you want a particular practice partner, you say, here's the way I want you to play. And
Just like me on Crystal Play.
Anyhow, no, it's not color, but you can pick any of those various characters inside the cafe, and each have different characteristics. It's just an absolutely marvelous game. You talk about addictive. It's been addictive to me. Anyhow, that's all the time we have. A lot of great toys. If we only had the money to buy all these wonderful toys. We wish you a very happy holiday. Hope we'll see you here again next week on the Computer Chronicles. In the Random Access file this week, despite the pressure from competitors, Lotus has announced that it is raising wholesale prices on its software products, including 123. The price hikes go into effect in January. It's expected that the price of 123 will go up about $20. Lotus says the price increase will help pay for new marketing incentives to encourage dealers to provide better support. IBM has introduced Linkway, a product described as HyperCard for the PC. It features point-and-click operations to create customized information management applications. Linkway will sell for $110. And IBM is apparently thinking about selling low-end PS2s through department stores. Big Blue is now experimenting with sales of Model 25 and Model 30 PS2s in several South Florida department stores. Infocorp has just released sales figures for the month of July 1988, and they show that the Macintosh SE was the top-selling microcomputer that month with 7% of sales. Second was AST's Premium 286, and third was the Epson Equity 1. In dollar volume, the Compact Desk Pro 386 led the list. In total company sales, Apple was first, IBM second, and Compaq third. Commodore has announced new distribution deals with 7 major retail chains. Amigas will now be found in Software Etc., Electronic Boutique, Walden Software, and PC Warehouse, among others. And Commodore announced an upgraded operating system for the Amiga called version 1.3. It features an expanded library of printer drivers plus 15 new utilities.
AOX Incorporated has announced a new add-on board that will let you turn your existing 286 PC into a 386 machine. The card will feature the Intel 386SX processor and a small cache to increase speed. It's priced at under $500 and is set to ship in the second quarter of next year. Briar Technology has announced a new 3.5-inch floppy disk system that can store over 40 megabytes on a disk. The drive is intended for backup applications replacing tape drives. Earlier this month, Zydex announced a 20-megabyte floppy disk drive. Finally, if you're thinking of investing in a computer company, try a software company first. A recent survey of top computer companies found that the top 3 for return on investment were all software houses. The leaders were Lotus, Oracle, and Microsoft. Hardware companies, Apple and Compaq, were next, finishing 4th and 5th. That's it for this week's Chronicles. We'll see you next time.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte magazine, and Bix, the Byte Information Exchange. In print and online, Byte and Bix serve computer professionals worldwide with detailed information on new hardware, software, and technologies.
For a transcript of this week's Computer Chronicles, send $4 to PTV Publications, Post Office Box 701, Kent, Ohio 44240. Please indicate program date.
Thanks a lot. The first thing you do is buy the Christmas tree, but that's the easy part, even at a place like this where you have to saw it down yourself. The next step is buying the Christmas presents, and sometimes that's not so easy, especially if you're trying to find a gift for a computer nut. Well, today we'll take a look at some great Christmas gift ideas for the computer user on your shopping list on this special holiday edition of the Computer Chronicles.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte magazine, and Bix, the Byte Information Exchange. Additional funding is provided by the Software Publishers Association and by Intel Corporation, Personal Computer Enhancement.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee, and with me this week by the magic of television from Monterey, California, Gary Kildall.
Merry Christmas, Stuart.
And Gary, I'm going to show you something neat. I know you're going to want to buy this for Christmas. This is called U-Force from Broderbund, and I've got Don Panic here from Broderbund to show us how it works. What exactly is U-Force, Don?
U-Force is a controller for your Nintendo Entertainment System, and it is the first video game controller that will actually translate the actions that you make onto the screen while you touch nothing. For example, I have a boxing game here that I'm going to demonstrate on this. There's a series of infrared sensors here which are going to reflect off of me and translate my actions onto the screen.
Okay.
So, for example, I come up here, I throw an uppercut, knocked him down immediately.
That was good.
That was fabulous. Okay, unfortunately, he's going to get up here in just a second, and I'm going to have to go at him again here.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw a lower punch this time. Translates that down there. I can duck to the side by moving my hand here to the side. Throw a few more uppercuts up here. Oh, he's getting a couple in there. Now I'm going to go up again like this. And it's reflecting off of me and translating this right onto the screen.
That's fantastic.
Like that.
How much does that sell for?
It'll be about $70 retail in most stores.
All right, Gary, do you have anything that good you're going to show us later in this program?
Well, Stuart, I do have a cute little digital toy here for the kids. This is Preston Parrott, and he's got a little computer chip inside of him, a little bit of random access memory, and he does a little voice processing. So I'll turn Preston on here. And he starts out with a little bit of animated action. Okay, Preston, are you through? Preston, want a computer chip? Come on.
Preston, want a computer chip?
Okay. That's a cute little toy for the kids, and I'm going to come back with one for the grown-ups.
All right, Gary and I will be joined in just a minute by Jan Lewis, Paul Schindler, two special guests as we take a look at some terrific Christmas gifts for the PC and the Macintosh. We'll be back with part one in just a second, Christmas gifts for the PC, so stay with us. With us in the studio now is Jan Lewis, sitting in Gary Kildall's usual hot seat. We have John Dickinson, executive editor of PC Magazine, and our friend Paul Schindler. And you're the guest here, so you're going to go first, John. What kind of good Christmas gifts do you have for us?
Well, one of the newer low-cost items around is a hand scanner, which lets you scan images into a desktop publishing program or anything else like that. This is the Logitech ScanMan, and it lets me, just with the mouse, go over and click on Scan, and take a nice little Christmas image that you might want to scan in and send to your friends.
You're scanning a Christmas card.
Scanning in a Christmas card.
Into what program, John?
This is into Logitech Finesse, which is a desktop publishing program.
Wow, that is fast.
Goes right in there. And there's the image. And we're going to save it, which of course we have to do somehow. And we'll just call this Xmas, which seems like a nice name. Okay, and click on that. And then we'll go back to the original Finesse program and bring that image in just as quickly as we can. Somewhere down here is
Xmas.
Xmas. Just bring it in, and there it is.
Wow.
Right into your document, and you can make that the basis of a letter that you're going to send all your friends.
That's nice.
So you can customize this to reflect something that you personally want
to be the annual Christmas letter from your family.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a low-cost stocking...
Well, what's the ScanMan sell for before you get
It sells for between $200 and $300.
Not bad.
And you need a little publishing package like this. It comes with a paint package, but a desktop publishing package like this is less than $200, and you need a mouse that costs less than $100. So they're all good Christmas items.
What else you have?
The ultimate stocking stuffer, box of floppy disks.
Right.
This is the, in the computer age, what's the equivalent of giving socks to your friends for Christmas. Maxell has a promotion that gives you a portion of the John Madden football game from Electronic Arts with the 11th floppy disk in a box. And the ultimate secret weapon, a Casio Boss for your friends.
Oh, you're one of the guys who actually uses those things.
I actually use this. This saves my life. It keeps my diary together, my schedule. It has all my telephone numbers in it. If you don't like the small one, you can get the slightly larger one that Casio makes for about $100 more than the $200 that this one costs. And best of all, with this cable and some software from Traveling Software, you can link it up to your PC and maintain the same data in both places very, very simply and quickly.
I may have to get one. All right, that's great. Jan, it's going to be your turn next.
Great. We have real fun. Can you get me out of here?
I sure can.
And what I'm going to show is something that I'm delighted is a software package that basically claims to reduce productivity.
Okay.
And I think for Christmas, that's wonderful.
It's honest software.
It's honest software, and it's fun software. What it does is it allows you to play with fractals. Right now, fractals are things that people are hearing about an awful lot.
This is Fractools.
Fractools is the name of the package. It's also the directory.
There we go.
Okay.
So okay, go ahead. Show us what this does.
Okay. And what you're going to see here is some pre-generated slideshows and effects and things of that nature. So let me show you what you have a choice of. You bring this up, and you can either look at individual images, individual slides, or individual slideshows. So let's say I'm going to pick a slideshow. It'll give me my choice of what kind of slideshows I want. And I'm going to start with this one here, the intro. It takes a little while to load it up, but what you're going to see is something that would normally take days and days to produce. And what's going to happen here is these are all starting from the same, what's called a Mandelbrot set.
Yeah.
And it's going through various iterations, it's changing the palettes, it's doing various things. We can also affect it by changing the direction and things of that nature. And it goes through, and you can sit here and watch this for hours.
And that's really all you're supposed to do, right?
Well, there's a couple of things you can do. You can, first of all, use the slideshows that come with the system, or you can use these special effects and the various things that come with the system. But what you actually can generate your own fractals and your own slideshows. Each of the nobody has ever seen a fractal show this fast, and the reason is that each of these frames can take maybe 12 hours to generate. They're very simple to set it up and to allow it to start the process of generating, but each of those can take, let's say, overnight. So you can make your own slideshows, just allow a few days and set it in motion overnight and paste them together afterwards.
You can actually print these out, Jan? Is that what these are?
You can print these out, yeah, and these are just some of the images you're seeing on the screen right now. You can, some of these.
That's gorgeous.
This stuff.
Wow.
And
Fractools.
Fractools is the name of it. And
how much is it?
The price of the package is $59, and until the end of this year, meaning the Christmas season, is $45.
Not bad.
And it comes from a company that actually makes productivity tools, but this is a tool guaranteed to reduce productivity.
What else do you have, Jan?
I'm going to show you SimCity, which is one of the cleverest games I think that has ever come out.
Are you through with it, Jan?
I am, yeah. SimCity basically lets you create your own cities and run your own cities. And you have all the dynamics that you would normally have in running a city. You have to decide on things like building roads. You have to decide on taxes. If you, let's say, don't maintain your police force or your fire department, you make it voted out of office.
It's a mayor simulation.
It's a mayor simulation to a certain extent, yeah. And then there's various scenarios that are built in, such as natural disasters or things of that nature. You can also create your own cities, create your own scenarios, and therefore other people who have the package can trade cities with each other or trade scenarios with each other.
SimCity.
SimCity.
Sounds great. Paul, I hear you making noise.
Jan, I'm sorry that I stepped on your discussion there. This is called Black Hole, and it's actually called Beyond the Black Hole. And this one is it's a $50 package from Software Toolworks in Chatsworth, California. And, you know, on the surface you could say, well, it's just another arcade game. However, this game is actually 3D, and it uses the same process they used for that 3D Super Bowl commercial. And what you do, Stuart, is you put on these clear on one side glasses.
Paul.
Now, don't try this at home, kids. Yeah. But as I look at this now, that ball appears to be going in and then back out. The goal is you're supposed to ring all the bells, and I'll just show you that there's a little fuel indicator there on the bottom. If you run out of fuel, you go to Vern's Orborama, and you're supposed to go through those orbs to pick up gas. The problem with this is that I can't work it. My 9-year-old daughter Marlo is fine on this thing. I am just absolutely impossible on it.
And that's called Black Hole.
And that's called Black Hole.
Okay.
And I'll just get out of that. And,
show us quickly what else you have.
Yes, I have Tree Saver. Now you could say to yourself, well, what on earth would you want to have? How could you save trees with software? Well, the answer is this. Boy, I can't see with those. They're great for playing the game, but what you have, Stuart, is it's photo reduction software for laser printers. So you can print 2 to a page or 4 to a page, and you may say, well, that's impossible to read. And the fact is that it's possible to read it. That's a great piece of software. That's $90 from DiscoverSoft in Alameda, California. And finally, for the portable computer owner, this is an indispensable tool. This thing is called the Road Warrior. It's from a company called CP Plus in Huntington Beach, California. 2 versions, the $50 version and the $139 version. And the difference is this little thing here, which means even in a hotel where you can't get to the plug at the wall, this will allow you to use your portable computer on the handset cord. Terrific, terrific. If you know somebody owns a portable and travels, this is just a fantastic gift. And reasonably priced, I think.
All right, it is finally my turn. I have up here on the PC a great program if you know somebody who's a CompuServe user. This just came out literally this day. It is a very lovely, friendly Windows interface for working on CompuServe. It saves you tremendous amounts of time. It makes using CompuServe fun, not the drudgery of that usual interface. It's $25 and you get $15 worth of online credit, so it basically costs you $10 to get this. Anyhow, it's called CompuServe Information Manager, and it really makes using CompuServe a heck of a lot easier. I want to show you one other thing here, which is kind of fun right now, if I can get in here. This is a translation program that actually works. It's a Spanish to English translation program. It's not very expensive, a few $100s, and let me just show you how this works. This is really terrific. We'll put into keyboard translation, and all you do is type in an actual sentence here. And I think I just messed that up. You have to name those files. Okay. Anyhow, what you do is you type in an English sentence, you type translate, and out comes a Spanish sentence. It's great if you're trying to do simple communications in English and Spanish. Real briefly, Banner Mania, a wonderful program, about $30, $40 or so. Look at the kinds of things this does, Jan, if you'll help me. Any idiot like me can make these gorgeous, gorgeous banners. That's Banner Mania. Let's get rid of that real quick. 2 things real quick. This is a lot of fun. The Voice Master Key. Voice recognition, people laugh at it. $149. It actually works, and even when it doesn't, it's great fun to play with. Software, board, headset, microphone, and so on. You can do wonderful things. It really is a productivity tool if you're doing certain kinds of applications. Stocking stuffers, hint books, I find, are very much appreciated. A couple of bucks. If somebody's trying to solve this adventure game and they haven't had much luck, they will love it. That's my stuff. Now, Gary, it is your turn. What do you have to show us?
Well, Stuart, with all the interest in desktop video, I picked a desktop video peripheral. In this case, it's the Sharp liquid crystal projector. And this thing works very much like a slide projector, except it projects video, of course. A single light source in here and 3 layers of LCD displays, one for red, one for green, and one for blue. And since it's a single light source and a single lens, then you have no convergence problems whatsoever. You can set it up as close as you like within reason to the screen or to a whiteboard. You can use it in the boardroom, or you can watch football at home, whatever you like. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a tape that I've created using desktop video and play it with this player TV combination as a source for the video. And as you see, I'll be zooming in here now and focusing the lens. Okay. And now I can zoom back out, and I can go up to a 7-foot diagonal if I like. So you can see this is a very handy, lightweight device. It's about $3,000. It's my pick for this Christmas.
We're back in the studio. With me again, Jan Lewis, and joining us now, Andrew Eisner, Labs Director with Mac User Magazine. Jan, I'm going to ask you to start this time.
Great, we got some neat stuff here.
For the
First
Macintosh.
of all, for the Macintosh,
Okay.
all for the Macintosh. First, I'm going to do the Casio Boss One Better. They were small, but look what I've got here. This is a wrist Mac. And what this allows you to do, it's a little wristwatch, but it has the connector. Put it right into your modem port of the Macintosh, and you get data back and forth. You carry around your phone numbers, your to-do list, your schedules. It'll even
The
do
answers
alarms.
to the exam questions?
I think they probably would, as a matter of
Okay,
fact.
I like it.
So this is a great little toy. Then we
Okay.
have the Farallon Portable Pack, and this is everything you need on the road, to either try with your Mac Portable or your Mac SE or whatever you're carrying on the road. It's got everything in here that you need. It's got all the various types of connectors.
This is kind of like what Paul showed us on the PC side?
Exactly, exactly the same type of thing. And here it's got various types of RJ11 splitters, dual edge screwdriver.
Software slots.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's more than just software slots. It has 2 copies each of Timbuktu and Remote Timbuktu, which allows you to control your Mac from afar over the phone line or in your own office. So this is about $800 worth of stuff in here. And unless you think this is a Swiss Army knife of portables, it even has a Swiss Army knife.
That is great.
And then, of course, with all those cables, it also includes instructions for how to hook things up and how to make them work.
And what's the Farallon Portable Pack cost?
It cost about $400, and if you bought these things retail, it would be about $800.
Fantastic.
So it's a real good deal. Then I have a bunch of books that I think are very interesting. One is the HyperTalk Bible, and I think this is a real good one to be using. A fairly new book on the market is Dr. Macintosh, another really good book. MIDI programming for the Macintosh. And this is anyone who wants to use MIDI and music and all sorts of neat stuff like that. Brand new is Macintosh Hypermedia, and this also is great. And last but not least is the Mac User 200 Best Macintosh Products.
Very good segue, Jan. We're going to come back to you in a minute. Andrew, what do you have for us from Mac User?
Well, Stuart, I've got the ultimate holiday gift here. I've got the Macintosh Portable.
That's for sure.
This unit has a 40 megabyte internal hard disk, 1 meg of RAM, and will cost you about $6,500.
Kind of spin that around a little bit so we can see it, Andrew.
All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a label for your Christmas gifts on this label writer from
That's
CoStar.
this little guy in the middle over here?
That's right.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is now print out, right now it's printing out a label. It's very fast, and there it is, coming out right now. So you can just, when that comes out, you can just tear that off.
So that's just a little peripheral that you plug into what?
That's right. It goes right into the serial port of your Mac, and it'll print barcode labels too. Now, I also have a new product from Calcom.
Maybe you can put the lid of the portable down so we can see
let's
that.
put this out of the way. I've got the Whiz tablet from Calcom, and what it has is a 6-button mouse. The buttons on here actually rock both ways, so you actually get 6 buttons. What you do is you get these templates, and they come from most of the popular Macintosh programs, and you can point and click on the templates and perform a lot of functions. For the lower budget, I have, you can get this product for about $30. What it is it's a hyper dialer from DataDesk, and it goes in between your phone and your handset, and you call up your electronic Rolodex, and it dials a number automatically.
Directly from your
Directly
Mac.
from your Mac.
You can send other sounds, though, through your
That's
telephone
right,
using that.
that's right. If you've got your sounds, yes, I know. You can send some rather amusing sounds, I'm sure.
What's that box?
This box is actually a very nice telecommunication package. It's always nice to get online for the holidays. And this comes with a Mac telecommunication package. The cable is all ready to work on the Mac, and there's a 2400 baud modem and a built-in fax modem for $299.
Not bad.
So it's quite an attractive
What a deal.
package.
Andrew, you've got one more little thing, I think, to show
Oh,
me.
yes, that's right. How could I forget? This is the ultimate stocking stuffer, and this is a 1 megabyte SIM, and with System 7 about to come out in 1990, which will require 2 megabytes, this would be a wise idea. You can get this for about, these sell for about $80 to $100.
Stocking stuffer. Right.
Wise idea.
All right, I have a couple things to show you guys before I get back to you, Jen. First of all, if you can't afford the Mac Portable, and you want to run your Mac in your car, you can do it with this thing called Power Trip from Zerko. It's, I think, about $150 or so. Plug this into your cigarette lighter, plug your Macintosh right into here, and you can operate a fax machine, a computer, right inside your car at any time. For people who don't like mice, this is really a neat product called the Unmouse. Okay, it's from Microtouch. This is it. This is an actual portrayal of your screen. Whatever you touch is exactly where the cursor goes. It's also a graphics tablet, 1,000 points by 1,000 points. A very nice alternative to the mouse if you don't like a mouse. This is a neat little product, a cordless keyboard. Okay, very good if you're making presentations on your Macintosh. You need to walk around the room, but you want to run the computer. Infrared over here, it actually works. You can run more than one computer from here. You can have 2 different people with these keyboards running the same computer, kind of dueling spreadsheets. And it has a memory function. If you have to do things like Alt F2 or Shift F3, if you hit the Alt or function, any command key, it remembers it for a couple seconds. It knows you're doing one-finger operations here, and you can run the computer that way. Very neat. It's called the Tote Board from Enview, and it's $299. Last but not least, for this Christmas season, the Word processor, an electronic Bible, the entire Old and New Testament, on floppy disks. You put it on your computer. You can do a word search if you want to know what the Bible has to say about love or whatever it happens to be. You just punch in the word, searches out the Bible for you. Also has a thesaurus mode. So if you don't pick the right word, if you say, what does the Bible have to say about obeying, it'll also come up with commandments and words that mean the same thing. Under $50, very neat program. Also runs on the PC, by the way. Jan, you have one more thing to show us.
Great. And this, to me, is the ultimate one. What this is doing, it's the apps Micro TV. And what this is doing is you're going to actually see live TV signals coming in. I'm going to turn it on. And here we've got a little Steve Martin thing running. We can adjust.
Wait a minute, we're watching TV on the Mac screen.
On the Mac screen. Adjust the brightness, contrast, things of that nature. Stuff like that.
So I can be in my office working on a spreadsheet and also watching the football game at the same time.
Exactly, and you can put this in the background.
Okay.
And you know, be doing something else, and you might want to do that. You might want to keep something up, the news network or whatever. You see something that looks interesting, you tune it up.
Wow.
We can also do this with a camera. And let me just show you that from the camera feed, if we can find the camera down here.
So you've got a regular camcorder thing
the
plugged in
same thing,
there.
basically, right? Let me load that back up. Okay, so
and that's a live shot of actually what you're pointing
this
at right
is
now.
actually a live shot. In fact,
Andrew,
make a funny face or something so that we know it's
wave to your mom, Andrew. There we go.
That's it.
Look at that. Okay. And you were able to freeze that and capture that.
Able to freeze that one.
Oh, goodness. Hello there.
Let's see.
Right, that's real. I can see that. Okay. Oops. Okay.
Okay, we got that frozen.
You've captured that.
Captured the cameraman. And once we've done the capture, let's just take a look at what we have here.
I'll hold that for you.
Oh, great. Once we've done the capture, we have it in the clipboard, and we can now do anything we want with it. For instance, we can put it, I have a Mac Write document open, and I can just take this and paste that right into the clipboard, right into the document, and now we've got 2 Stewarts right in a row.
Jan, that is fantastic.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
What is it called again? How much does it cost?
It's called the Apps Micro TV. It costs just under $400. Let me just show you the box so you can,
there it is.
get it.
Under $400?
Under $400. This is fantastic. I mean, to me, this is the favorite toy that I have for this Christmas.
Yes, that may be even better than the Mac Portable you've got. It's a lot cheaper, I'll tell you that. That's our look at Christmas gifts for the computer person on your shopping list. Have a happy holiday, and we'll see you again next week.
Random Access File this week, IBM has started shipping video display terminals with reduced electromagnetic radiation levels. According to IBM, the new low-emission terminals are an effort to please customers rather than a reaction to proven health hazards. Studies on the dangers of VDT exposure have been inconclusive. IBM expects to incorporate the new lower emission technology in all its cathode ray computer screens, although it will not be replacing existing units. Other computer manufacturers say they have no plans to follow suit. A new program may help make design work on different computer systems a little easier to deal with. Picture this from FGM Incorporated enables graphics files from various computers to be converted into PICT files and consolidated on the Macintosh, where they can be displayed or edited. Picture this as shipping now and costs $99. Kodak is offering a tiny printer for use with the Macintosh Portable. The Diconix M1500 is an inkjet printer that has the new Adobe Type Manager software. The 3-pound unit runs on C batteries. It'll be available in January for about $700. Laptop pioneer Sir Clive Sinclair's Cambridge Computers will launch a new IBM-compatible portable in April. It's intended to undercut a similar system by Psion. The new Sinclair portable weighs just 3 pounds and includes a single 3.5-inch floppy drive and a 20 or 40 meg hard drive. The days of nickel-cadmium batteries may be numbered. Gates Energy Products has announced it'll soon offer nickel metal hydride batteries that will replace NiCads in portable computers. The metal hydride batteries promise a 50% higher capacity than NiCads. They'll also allow manufacturers to design systems that consume more power than is possible with existing NiCads. Gates says sample nickel metal hydride batteries should be available next year, with full production scheduled for 1991. Lotus has a new 1-2-3 add-in to help factory engineers and managers analyze production data. Lotus Factory enables users connected to a network to manage and monitor shop floor activity. Data can be captured automatically and analyzed with all the functions of the 1-2-3 spreadsheet. Factory has a suggested retail price of about $800. And now here's Paul Schindler with a software review.
Each year, more PCs work alongside Macs. That's great because companies get the best of both computing worlds that way. And as you'll notice, the two systems are even beginning to look alike. Unfortunately, the similarity is only skin deep. PCs and Macintoshes have completely different file structures. Thus, a PC cannot read Mac disks, and a Mac cannot read PC disks. Now, a number of methods have been devised to overcome this incompatibility. One that I like is Iomega's Bernoulli File Exchange, which uses these cartridges, able to hold 44 megabytes of data. Now, all I do is transfer the cartridge from a PC Bernoulli drive to a similar drive on my Macintosh. File Exchange software allows my Mac to directly read PC files converted to standard Mac file and folder icons. Here's some text created on the PC showing up in the Macintosh word processor right now. You can transfer graphics files too if your application runs on both the Mac and the PC. In this case, a Lotus 123 file is automatically directed by File Exchange to Macintosh Excel, where you can see it now. Bernoulli file transfer, along with Bernoulli drives, come from Iomega in Roy, Utah. For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Paul Schindler.
Finally, Atari is introducing a handheld game machine to compete with Nintendo's Game Boy system. The 1-pound Lynx features detailed color graphics and sound effects. Both the Lynx and the Game Boy will come with one game cartridge and accessories. The biggest difference may be price, with the Lynx at $180, twice as expensive as the Game Boy. Only 70,000 Lynx units will be available in the U.S. before Christmas, so the Lynx may well become this year's Cabbage Patch Kid. That's it for this week's Random Access. I'm Kate McGargy.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by McGraw-Hill, publishers of Byte Magazine, and Bix, the Byte Information Exchange, and by Intel Corporation, Personal Computer Enhancement. Additional funding is provided by the Software Publishers Association, which reminds you that software is produced by people whose income is derived from legitimate software sales. Software piracy is a federal offense. When a few people steal software, everyone loses. For a transcript of this week's Computer Chronicles, send $4 to PTV Publications, Post Office Box 701, Kent, Ohio 44240. Please indicate program date.
you go.
Thank you. Here's your sock.
Thanks a lot. The first thing you do is buy the Christmas tree, but that's the easy part, even at a place like this where you have to saw it down yourself. The next step is buying the Christmas presents, and sometimes that's not so easy, especially if you're trying to find a gift for a computer nut. Well, today we'll take a look at some great Christmas gift ideas for the computer user on your shopping list on this special holiday edition of the Computer Chronicles.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by the Software Publishers Association, which reminds you it's a federal offense to copy software. The SPA provides information on how to stay software legal. Funding is also provided by PC Connection and Mac Connection, and by Byte Magazine and Bix.
Welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee, and with me this week is Paul Schindler. Paul, it's Christmas time, as I can see by your outfit. Christmas time, parents think about what to get for the children, of course, and one thing you might think about is an encyclopedia. And the old-fashioned version, 26 volumes that take up a whole bookcase, isn't the way you do it in the computer era. What I have up here is the new Compton's Electronic Encyclopedia on CD-ROM. What's great about it is not only in a CD-ROM, but it's meant for a 7-year-old child. So even if you don't know how to use the encyclopedia, just ask it a question. For instance, I put in a question, is St. Nicholas the same as Santa Claus? Because I couldn't find St. Nick in the encyclopedia. Automatically tells me, suggests an article I should look up, which is the article on Santa Claus. I simply click on it, and lo and behold, there is the article on Santa Claus. It says, of course, it's the same thing as St. Nicholas. I can click through the 3 pages of this particular article. When I get to the end, it says, by the way, there's a cross-reference article over here called Christmas, and I can just click on that cross-reference icon, and boom, there's the other article. And if I just page through 1 or 2 pages of this article, I can see there's actually a photo. It shows me an icon that there's a photo that goes with the article. I click on the icon, and it pulls up a color photo that comes with that story. It's really a neat way for a kid to get to learn and play with the encyclopedia. I want to ask you, is a 7-year-old child too young to buy a computer for at Christmas time?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old, and they both started using computers when they were 5. The key is not the hardware, it's really the software. There's a lot of good educational and game software for both the PC and the Macintosh. Personally, I think they don't need their own. If you have one at home already, they can share it. I don't think they need their own till maybe they're 11 or 12 years old. But with the prices the way they are these days, for $750, you can get a fully functional PC. It's expensive, but I think it's worth it.
Okay, Paul, today we're going to look at a lot of neat computer presents, both hardware and software, for children of all ages, as they say. Now, one of the troubles with gadgets that you buy for Christmas is some of them may end up buried in a closet at the end of one week. But the good news is that the best of those end up in the Museum of American Heritage. It's a kind of old-age home for antiquated technology. And we begin with a visit to the museum in Palo Alto, California.
The Museum of American Heritage is a world far removed from that of microprocessors and floppy disks. Operating systems here are still of the manual variety, and memory is not measured in bytes, but in time. This California museum specializes in machines from the Industrial Revolution, machines that, in their own time, were nonetheless considered revolutionary. Among the museum's prized possessions is this knitting machine dating from the late 1800s. Small-scale entrepreneurs could buy it for just $25. The museum's curator says the exhibit shows us what life was like before the advent of electronics and computers.
The intent of it is to show what went on before, as far back as we can go. That is, we know that a computer is today, but what happened in the last 50 or 100 years to lead up to the computer. It didn't just happen. The computer didn't just happen to flash into place.
But not all of the items on display were technological successes. There are some prominent losers, like the Mignon, originally built as an easy-to-use alternative to early typewriters. The operator used a pointer to choose each letter and then pushed a lever to print one letter at a time. But despite the occasional inventive flop, Livermore says that the museum's visitors leave with a better appreciation of today's technology.
But that's what we're trying to do, so that making it so that people don't forget, or can't forget. They can come here and remind themselves of how things were.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Maria Gabriel.
We're happy to have Jan Lewis joining us for this special holiday show. And during this first segment, when we're looking at PC computer products, we have Chris Barr, West Coast editor with PC Magazine. And Chris, maybe you can begin.
Absolutely. I have two software packages here that are timed perfectly for the Christmas buyer. The first is the latest version of TurboTax. This is version 8, and this has a lot of new features. One of them is an automatic tax, an audit flagging feature, and it has a hyper type of help facility that can just pull you right through, and anybody can use it. You never need to go to the post office and stand in line for forms anymore, because they're all in here. And it also has, you can also purchase separately 44 different state versions. This lists for $75, and the state versions are $40. And this year, new this year also, is a Mac version.
Great.
Okay, for $89. Okay, also, right, I have Quicken. This is the latest version of Quicken. This is 4.0. And Quicken, well, let me just show you.
Okay.
Quicken is known for its check writing ability. You can write checks and you can print them out on your laser printer, your dot matrix, or through a check writing service. But they have a new feature here, which is a way to track your investments. This is similar to managing your money. For instance, right here, we've put in a number of stocks that we're tracking here, IBM, Borland, etc. And if we want to add a new stock, we just go right here. We do shares in, we add it, and let's say we're going to add Microsoft here. So we just add Microsoft, put in what we paid for it. We didn't pay that much. And we put in that we bought 100, and it tracks it for us right here. And then as these things change, you can go up and you can update your prices and keep your portfolio up to date. Go in from time to time and you can get a full viewing of your net worth and of your assets.
And percent gain and loss, I see.
Percent gain and loss, right. And this is brand new. It lists for $59 and is available now.
Okay. Jan, it's your turn. You got lots of boxes in front of you there.
Bunches of goodies here, all different types of things that would make good Christmas presents. Start with is something called Expands, which is just a little half-slot board. And what this does basically is it gets as much as 3 times the amount of storage on your disk. And the way it does it basically is it compresses the files, but it does it on the fly. It's transparent to you. It compresses it when it writes and reads, and you don't even know it. Real nice little package, and it lists for $199. We also have RAM Pack, which is 2 products that were bestsellers on their own. Pop Drop Plus, which lets you manage RAM resident utilities in expanded memory and things like that. And then Above Disk, which lets you use your disk as expanded memory, saving you the money of going out and getting expanded memory. Nice little package. Together they're listing for $139. Okay. After Dark has been a best-selling screensaver in the Macintosh, and now they have it for the PC. It's wonderful. I think people will love getting it. Something I use quite a bit is Grammatic 4. It's for MS-DOS, it's for Windows, and it really analyzes your writing style, points out various things that could be improved or couldn't.
A good gift for kids too, I think.
I think for anybody who's doing writing, letters, homework, anything just about. Percent Edge lets you do all sorts of amortization, mortgage calculations, would let you take your portfolio that Chris just showed us and see what kind of interest rate you really earned on your appreciation. Also, Computer Industry Almanac, big book, the 1990 version is out, and it has just about everything you'd ever want to know about the computer industry. And last, but definitely not least, is Lotus Magellan.
Okay, and you're going to show us
I'm going to show you that, This is something that, once you use it, you'd never use MS-DOS without it. And basically, the kind of file management capabilities that you have with this are extremely pleasant. Here we have each of the drives. We have 4 drives here. We're going to be looking at the C drive. Now what you see on the right-hand side is everything that you would see in a DIR listing. But what you can do is just with the cursor keys, you can go over here and now have access to each one of these individual items. Now, if the directories are going to show you other things.
Can you look at the files?
You can look at the files too. And let's just say you can also find things. Let's say I want to find Jan. So it showed me 2 files. I'm going to go up in this directory and look at this one. I can actually go in here. Normally, to look at all these files, I have to have the applications, I'd have to open them. Don't have to do that.
You can do that from Magellan.
Each one of these. And in fact, if some of these things are not even ASCII files, you can still see them.
In their native mode.
Exactly.
Is it hard to use Magellan? I've heard that.
Not at all. Just take a look at this. You can do things like, again, you're just using really function keys and the cursor keys. Let's say that you wanted to only look at, throughout your entire C drive, you only want to look at program files, let's say.
It's also been accused of having an extensive setup situation.
It is not. It's not that hard at all.
Yeah, there they are, all your
there it is.
program files.
All the COMs and the XEs, and they come from different directories, and they're all there.
Okay, Jan, I need you to give Paul a shot
Alrighty.
here. And while you're handing the keyboard over, what's it cost for Magellan?
Magellan is $139.
Not bad. All right, Paul, you've got a bunch of boxes.
I sure do, starting with, you know, I guess it's trite to pull a pocket computer out of your pocket, but this is, but I did it. This is 1995 from Pocket Computer Corporation. Been talking about it for a long time. It's actually available on the market this Christmas, and they have vastly improved the keyboard. I have been quoted accurately in public as saying that this keyboard was not very usable. It is now usable.
So
Great.
It's real and it's better.
It's real, it's better, it's 1995, and it's expensive but interesting. I have a similar product to Jan's. This is called Stacker for $229. It doesn't look like a disk drive, but it can double the capacity of your disk drive by compressing files. That's from Stack Electronics in Carlsbad, California. I like this. This is called the Faxomatic. It's not exactly like the Veg-O-Matic, but it receives faxes and prints them out on your printer so that you don't need a separate fax if all you're doing is receiving. It's kind of hefty, $400 from Tall Tree Systems in Palo Alto, California. But it, by the way, and all the other things I'm showing this year, I picked out with the help of my colleague Richard Dalton, who also helps me do the software reviews on the Computer Chronicles. The HP LaserJet 2P, $800 this Christmas season, and if you buy it before the end of the year, they'll throw in a free paper cartridge that's normally $125. Absolutely great. Finally, the Microsoft Entertainment Pack for Windows. I heartily recommend it. Everybody needs to play now and then, and in the Windows environment, you can just bring it up, play, and then hide it quickly when the boss comes in, a la the Mac environment. Lots of different things on here, including a cute little screensaver with your choice of on-screen environments. And that's my suggestion. It also has Tetris, it has Solitaire, and it's a great adjunct, and that is, of course, from Microsoft, $40.
All right, we've got a couple of minutes left, and it's my turn. You were talking about faxes, Paul. A couple of years ago, you may remember, Jan, we had when WorldPort came out with the little modem. This is now a fax modem for your laptop, 9600 baud, fax modem, 2400 baud. Data modem, pretty neat, you can carry it around. I think it costs, what, $6.99, a nice little toy. Now, a lot of us have laptops with modems and cellular phones or car phones, but you can't plug them in. This little black box does it. It's called the data cell. You put your modem in here from your computer, your car phone plug in here, and you can use your cellular phone, your car phone for a fax machine or for a modem. It's really a neat toy. It's only $299. It's really helpful if you're on the run a lot. A couple of software things I want to mention. Play it by ear. If you're trying to sing Christmas carols this year and you find you can't carry a tune, this lets you train your ears so you can recognize a note, recognize a chord. It's a nice little thing for kids in particular. $99, play it by ear. This is a rather interesting program, Bible Illustrator. It's not an illustrator. There are no pictures involved, but it gives you stories to explain principles in the Bible. You look up any concept that has to do with the Bible. For instance, I looked up something like the phrase God bless you, and it told me what the origin of God bless you was. Back in 750, Gregory the Great thought when you sneezed your soul out, and you needed a prayer. And he said the prayer shall be God bless you. It came out of Bible Illustrator. I want to show off this thing, the American Heritage Electronic Dictionary. We saw at the very beginning that encyclopedia on a CD-ROM. Most people think you need a CD-ROM to do this kind of thing. You can have this dictionary online as a TSR just on your hard drive. Let me show you an example of how powerful this particular thing is. You can call it up. What's nice about this dictionary is sometimes you don't know what word you want. So a dictionary is useless, a thesaurus is even useless. Suppose I know there's a name for a sail on a boat that's in that third position, but I can't remember the name of the darn thing. I say, well, find me a word that has something to do with sailing and something to do with a mast, and I think, it's the number 3 thing on there. Is there such a thing in your dictionary? Boom. Wow. The word was mizzenmast. I can double check the meaning. That's exactly the word I was looking for. Super. Last but not least, this little baby over here. Boy. This is the new 386, 20 megahertz, 20 megabyte hard drive, VGA screen, 9x11 notebook computer from AST. It's an absolute desktop in a notebook form, and it's selling for only $29.95. So if you're really looking for that high quality gift, really one of the best looking desktops I've seen around. Wow. All right, we're going to be back in just a minute with some gifts for the Macintosh people on your list, so stay with us. We're back now with Paul Schindler and Jan Lewis, and joining us in this segment when we're talking about Macintosh products, Andrew Eisner, Director of Mac User Labs. Now, before we get to you, Andrew, one of my suggested gifts is this Mac 2 SI. It doesn't come with the dinosaur, by the way, but it's 35% less expensive than any Mac 2's ever been before. Of course, comes with color, the 68030, 20 megabyte drive, 40 megabyte drive, in fact, 2 megabytes of RAM. Very nice machine, about $3,700 to get the Mac 2 SI. Now, given I've got that machine, Andrew, show me some things I can do with it.
Well, Stuart, first of all, a fun item on top of the screen here is a computer critter. This is a dinosaur. You can also get a rabbit, and they cost about $25 or $30. Now, I've got a couple of CD-ROMs I brought along. First of all, the Microsoft Office has 4 popular Microsoft programs, and it also has the manuals built in on the CD-ROM. I also have a Media Tracks from Farallon, which is a whole multimedia kit on a CD-ROM. It comes with this Mac recorder, which is a microphone, and you can record sounds and put them on tapes, which turn into multimedia products. Now, here we have a fun game that teaches you about history and geography, and it's called Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego. It comes with an encyclopedia, and you learn a lot about history and geography by solving problems.
And how much is it?
This one is about $50.
Okay.
Now, to play these CD-ROMs, I brought along a CD-ROM player. This one is from PLI, and it has a jack for audio, and it also has a volume control, and this one will cost you about $600. Now, let's take a look at Cosmic Osmo here, and what you've got is you can click around anywhere on the screen, and you can explore this fun world here, and it plays sounds, and you can go places. And here you click on the screen and it's playing music. And then if you go into the other room, you can go places. And
this is the CD-ROM version.
This is the CD-ROM version of the popular game Cosmic Osmo, and this one costs about $70.
That you get better sound, you get more planets to go to.
That's right. You get higher quality sound and more areas to go to.
One other thing.
And last but not least, a great stocking stuffer would be a SIM. This is a 1 megabyte SIM, and they're actually getting very cheap these days. They're costing about, get them anywhere from about $40 or $50. So.
All right, Jan, it's your turn. What have you got?
Well, sort of along the same lines as Cosmic Osmo, we've seen Amanda Stories, Inigo, Your Faithful Camel before. Volume 3 is out, and this volume, as well as all the others, are just as good as always. Also have a real nice fractal program called Designer Fractals. This lets you not only make your own fractals, but make Mandel movies, they call it, where you can actually zoom and pan around the Mandelbrot space. It's something that
How much is that?
real fun. This one I don't recall. It's real cheap. It's under $30. I don't recall the price of it. For HyperCard, Wild Things has just a bunch of X commands on there that can let you do all sorts of really, really neat animation. Handoff 2 is a really useful utility. What this does is, first of all, it's a file launcher, sort of like on Q. But what it does in addition to that is it actually lets you launch from the Finder documents that don't have an application. And it lets you set up a variety of those types of things. We talked about After Dark before. Protector Shark. This is another screensaver. But the cute thing on here is that it's a good Christmas gift because it comes with a little shark fin. And that's a sort of a cutie. But my favorite for this year is something called Click Change from DoubleClick.
And you're going to show us that?
I'm going to show you that.
Right.
And I love this thing. And let me just first point out, you may have noticed on the screen that these windows don't look the same as we're normally used to seeing here. And a number of things. For instance, let me just eject the Cosmic Osmo disk and give you a sample here of the kinds of changes that we have here. Let me just show you what we can do with Click Change. Now, if you notice, instead of the watch, we have the little helicar. And also, instead of the cursor arrow, we have this finger here. How did I get that? Well, the whole idea is that we can customize things to ourselves. If you notice the scroll bars here, I have my own little pattern here. Give you an idea. Let's just say...
there are all the things you can change with this.
Yeah. Windows, I mean, I like these windows. They're sort of small talk looking windows. We also have a variety. We have something called Next, N-E-X-X-E-D, Mona Lisa. Another one that I like a lot is Zippy. Customize your windows. You can customize, let's say, the various cursors. If you notice that I had the Hello Car, I could also have, let's say, an hourglass just for the sake of it. Or a MacMan. And I can go in here and edit these myself. In fact, I can even create new ones. And in fact, on the Hello Car, I did actually add a couple of frames myself. Real neat things to play around with. We also can control things such as the color. If you notice, I have a lot of red in here because it's Christmas, but the truth is, it's a little glary. I sort of like something a little more subtle, perhaps, like that. So this is my favorite one.
All right, quick changes. From double click, how much is that?
$79.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to butt in for a minute, Paul, while you get ready. And matter of fact, you've got to get something I want to show up there. A couple of quick things. Everybody virtually owns Print Shop, right? Here's a book that only costs about $20. It's the Bible for Print Shop, both for the Mac or for the PC. It doesn't matter. Finally brings together in the back all the clip art on all the different discs that you've bought over the years for Print Shop. Lots of different ideas on how to design nice-looking things with Print Shop. A very nice, inexpensive gift. This is one of my favorites called Life Guard. We were talking about screensavers. This I would call a body saver, okay? This is a great program. It forces you to stop working every now and then. What you do, you set up Life Guard and you say after every 45 minutes, I want to take a 10-minute break, okay? And it forces you can pre-program what you want to do, a little muscle exercise to rest your wrists, your eyes, play a game, walk away, whatever. It forces you to stop working, called Life Guard. Great little program, about $79 from Visionary Software. These are these wonderful, wonderful children's stories on CD-ROM from Discus. I want to show you one of them right now, Cinderella, and this is really lovely. It's up on the machine. It's a hypercard kind of thing. You can click on a character
Cinderella
and find out who the character is, etc., etc.
Stepmother.
You can read the book if you'd like over here, or you can ask the computer to read the book for you, for your child.
His young daughter was such a kind and pretty girl, but her stepmother hated
And now
her.
suppose your child doesn't understand one of those words. You can go back in and double-click on one of the words.
Stepmother. Stepmother.
The wife of one's father by a later
Online talking dictionary. Pretty neat for kids. Real quick, a $3 gift, the December issue of Andrew's Mac User Magazine, because it has 100 things for the Macintosh for under $250. Not too bad. Paul.
I've always believed F. Scott Fitzgerald was right, that there are no second acts in American lives, but Mitch Kapoor is out to prove me and F. Scott Fitzgerald wrong. The founder of Lotus 123 now has Kapoor Technologies, Inc., and on location is the first product from On Technology. It's $75, and it's great packaging, by the way. It's including a little section in here on the fine print that our lawyers made us include. It's a navigation tool. It helps you find the files that you've lost somewhere on your Macintosh. So I think that's terrific. Sky Shadow is $40. It's from Cassidy and Green in Carmel, California, and these are the people who brought us Crystal Quest. Now they have yet another interesting, addictive game, lots of fun sound effects, and I embarrassed myself last year playing Crystal Quest on the Christmas show. My 9-year-old and my 6-year-old said, "Daddy, how could you do so badly?" So this is the automated demo. But you can fire forward, you can fire from behind, and it's got that same sense of humor, cute sound effects, a lot of action, and it's not just another things dropping out of the sky and you shoot at them sort of game. Clever and fun, and it's one of the best Mac games in this new season.
All right, Paul, thank you. About 30 seconds left. Andrew, what else do you want to add to the mix?
Well, Stuart, don't forget the other two new Macintoshes from Apple. One is the Mac Classic, which has about the power of a Mac SE for about $999, and the Mac LC, which is in between the SI and the Mac Classic, and that's about $2,500.
So if you're at the high end, you can buy a machine. At the low end, you can get any one of these neat little toys here. All right, on behalf of Paul and Jan, Chris, and Andrew, that's our special holiday programming. We'd like to wish you a very happy holiday season. Stay tuned now, though, for this week's Computer News.
Random access file this week. The merger of video and computers moved a giant step closer this week as Chips and Technologies began selling its new low-cost video chip that will allow computer users to view real-time video on a PC screen. The $40 chip is already being used in a new PC video board being sold by New Media Graphics Corporation. The video card will sell for just $695. That's about 1/3 the cost of the competing products which have been on the market until now. The video chip does memory timing, color keying, and frame buffering. The new video board will support NTSC, PAL, and SVHS formats. Intel says it will ship its new supercomputer, the Touchstone Delta, next spring. The Intel supercomputer uses over 500 i860 microprocessors to achieve a theoretical top speed of 30 billion floating point operations per second. The supercomputer will cost over $15 million and will be installed at the California Institute of Technology. RDI of San Diego, California has unveiled a new multi-platform laptop that is Spark compatible and can also run PC-DOS and Macintosh software. The new laptop is called the Bright Light, and RDI says its Mac mode runs almost as fast as a Mac 2X. The Bright Light has sound capability and Ethernet support. It's battery operated and comes standard with 8 megabytes of RAM. The price will be high at around $10,000. Limited shipment begins next month. Atari has unveiled a new low-cost graphics workstation called the TT30. It's a 32-bit computer built around Motorola's advanced 68030 chip. The Atari TT30 comes with color and monochrome graphic modes. It will sell for under $3,000. Taking a look at this week's top software titles for the Macintosh, Mac Connection reports that After Dark from Berkeley Systems is still in the #1 slot. Disk Doubler moved up to second, followed by SAM and Adobe Type Manager. In 5th place this week is Mac Utilities from Peter Norton. Completing the top 10 list are Quicken for the Mac, FileMaker Pro, Microsoft Word, Suitcase 2, and Pyro, both from 5th generation. Apple Computer says it can't keep up with the demand for its new low-cost Macintosh Classic. The new Mac Classic sells for under $1,000 and is faster than a Mac SE. Apple will reportedly boost production of the Classic at its manufacturing plant in Singapore and will bring online new production capacity from its factory in Ireland. Autodesk has announced a new interactive graphics system that will run on 386 and 486 computers. It's called 3D Studio, and it has all the tools needed to do three-dimensional authoring and animation. You do need at least 3 megabytes of RAM and a math coprocessor. 3D Studio will sell for under $3,000. Most competing products are priced at over $10,000 and require a Unix workstation. Bored with the icon on Windows 3.0 already? Well, you can now customize the graphic images in Windows Program Manager screen by using Icon Draw from Winsoft. The program lets you choose any image from its built-in library, or you can draw, color, and create your own icons. Icon Draw runs on any IBM-compatible computer and retails for about $50. It's hard to find a college in this country where you can still major in OS 2 or Windows 3.0. But if you're willing to take a trip, you can sign up for an 18-month course on how to program on those platforms. The course costs only $650 per semester. The catch is it's being offered at the Commercial College in Reykjavik, Iceland. The school says 50 students started the program. Only about 25 are going to graduate. That's it for this week's Computer Chronicles. I'm Kate McGargy.
The Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by the Software Publishers Association, which reminds you it's a federal offense to copy software. The SBA provides information on how to stay software legal. Funding is also provided by PC Connection and Mac Connection, and by Byte Magazine and Bix. For a transcript of this week's Computer Chronicles, send $4 to PTV Publications, Post Office Box 701, Kent, Ohio, 44240. Please indicate program date.
This week on the Computer Chronicles, our annual Consumers Buying Guide show. The best new computer products and technology gadgets of the year. Want full motion video on your PC for $99? We'll show you the new QuickCam. Want the ultimate new handheld organizer? Check out the OmniGo from Hewlett-Packard. Are you a Jacques Cousteau fan? Now you can be the captain of your own underwater explorer with a new CD-ROM simulation called Cousteau's World. Plus, the newest version of Video Director. It lets you edit home videos on your PC. Much, much more, including Giles Online and this week's computer news, all coming up next on this special edition of the Computer Chronicles.
Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by Hewlett-Packard Personal Computers, developing PCs for business. Additional funding from the Software Publishers Association, providers of educational materials to help manage software. Don't copy that floppy.
Hi, and welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee. We've brought in some old redecorated furniture here, as you can see, to help celebrate this 12th annual Consumers Buying Guide show. And we have lots of special guests from the computer world joining us today with the absolute best new computer products of the year. And getting their first shot at the favorite goodies of the year are Tim Baharin of Creative Strategies, Chris Gorman, who's editor for AOL's First Look column, and from Macworld Magazine, Suzanne Courteau. Okay, guys, we're going to start with you, and what are you going to show us, Chris?
Very cool product. Cousteau's World from Interactive and Jean-Michel Cousteau's production, the elder son of Jacques Cousteau.
Son?
Right. First in the series, this one having to deal with the coral reef, cities under the sea. In it, we have a choice of 7 different labs to go to. This is the adaptations lab. And in each lab, there are a variety of different things for the user to explore. Here we have the uses of color, camouflage, coral reefs during the day and night, and fish adaptations. And there's always an introduction by Jean-Michel himself, who introduces the whole concept of what you're going to be seeing.
Can we hear some of that, Chris?
Welcome to the Adaptation Lab. Here, as everywhere on Earth, everything is constantly adapting.
It sounds exactly like his father. There's about 40 minutes of video in this particular product. There's about an hour's worth of narrated slideshows. Very cool product where you get the same type of PBS quality that you see in all the programs, but you have it in an interactive avenue.
Cousteau documentary series.
Right.
And you can explore the different oceans and bodies of water.
Different oceans, different kind of sea lives.
And look for
what
fish
effects.
and reefs and all that kind of stuff.
Very cool product, $39.95 from Interactive.
Wow, sounds great. Okay, you're up, Suzanne. What are you going to show us?
Well, a new HTML program for making web pages.
Okay, so this is if you want to create your own personal web page?
Your own personal web page, but do not want to deal with HTML.
Right.
Which a lot of people don't like because it's code heavy. This is called Adobe PageMill.
Uh-huh.
It's about $99. The 2 great things about it: 1, no codes; 2, you see immediate results. So just like in any Mac program, if I highlight text, I can go right up to the menu bar and make changes and see the results.
So you're protected from all the HTML program code stuff, and you just say, here's what I want it to look like, and it generates the code underneath for you.
That's right.
HTML for dummies.
You know, this is really cool, though, when you think about it. I mean, right now, the guys that have been doing web pages have been commercial ventures or corporations, right? And yet, all of us would like to have the ability to do something similar. And with AOL now actually letting you have your own web page coming down the line,
that's right.
This is a great tool to make it very simple. It's drag and drop.
So everyone will have their web page.
They could.
Their own web page soon. Okay, so yeah, show me, how do you do graphics on this then, Suzanne?
Easy. Push that button.
Push a button.
Pick the file. Pops it right in. That's it.
So I mean, you don't. It's a really no-brain type situation, huh? Okay, and how about hot links? Can you do that?
You sure can. I don't know how.
But it says on the box you can do it.
I've been told that you can do that, and it's very easy.
Is this a Mac-only product?
Currently, yeah. Adobe has plans to come out with a Windows version, January?
Okay, so it's called PageMill.
PageMill from Adobe.
From Adobe. And we say $99.
99.
Wow. Tim, you're on. What do you got?
Yeah, Stuart, we're going to talk about and show you here a product called QuickCam from Connectix Corporation. And this is a little camera.
Chris is holding the camera.
Right, and what we can do is we can go in and actually take a movie. We'll record what we're doing. So, hi, folks.
So let's get a little action going here. So that's real time. That's your viewfinder.
Right, then we can go back and actually play the movie just as we recorded it.
Hi, folks. So let's get a little action going here.
That's right.
Oh, that's cool.
But what's interesting about this little camera here is inexpensive, like 129 list, 99 retail. And then you marry it with this, which is the Connectix video phone software that allows you to run over ISDN or a LAN, and you have like $169, $179 system to let you have a video phone. And interestingly, it actually even works over standard twisted pair regular telephone lines. It's just the recording rate or the actual compression rates are a little bit low. But if you had a version of this and I had a version of this, you and I could actually do video phones now.
So we could do picture phone, video phone type stuff just off our PCs or Mac.
Right.
Just using this stuff for $250
right.
bucks or something.
It's really nice, yeah. And the potential exists because you're actually taking pictures. That happened to be a movie, but we could actually do snapshots
Stills.
and just drop that into a Christmas card or a, you know, any type of greeting card we want in the future as well. It's a really neat little product and has a lot of potential.
So for about $100, you get the camera,
right.
you get the software,
and
now
then
it plugs into what? The parallel port?
Parallel and the keyboard, because you're getting the power from the keyboard.
Power off the keyboard goes inside through the parallel port.
Right.
And then the other thing is, I mean, you can take these little videos and dump them into any document,
That's
right? I mean,
right.
it's just a regular video file or graphic file.
Yeah, an extremely low-cost way of doing that.
Wow. Okay. So it's QuickCam from Connectix,
right,
and it's about $100 or something.
About $100 for the camera, about $59, $69 for the software, and available on the store shelves now.
Yeah, I play with that thing. It's really great. I think for $99 or
Really
whatever it
easy.
is. I mean, it's the most fun per dollar on my PC I think I've ever had. It's really cool. Okay, we got some other things to play with, and Chris, what else do you want to tell us about?
Poppy Mechanic's Car Guide for 1996. Over 7,500 different models for anybody interested.
Is that to fix cars or buy cars?
It's to buy, to lease.
How to buy a car.
Exactly. Tips on how to deal with your dealer, how to check over a used car yourself.
Is it multimedia? Is there video stuff in there?
Video stuff. You can customize your car if you want to and check out different colors. About $30 in the stores now.
Wow.
Terrific little tool.
Are you using it? You shopping for it?
I'm shopping for a car and I'm using it right now.
All right, I'll have to get a copy of that. Me too. All right, zip drive, Suzanne, tell us about it.
That's right. If you have a friend who has a stack of floppy disks sitting on their desk,
like me.
This is a great gift because with this little tiny cool purple drive, you get a floppy disk sized media that holds 100 megabytes.
Wow.
Yeah, formatted about 94.
Now the cost on that, I believe, is inexpensive too. That's like $200 for the drive, and then each disc is what, 20 bucks, right?
Yeah, and that's list, so you know you can find it cheaper than that.
Yeah, and what makes that interesting is it actually changes the way you might look at hard drives. You know, right now you have a fixed hard drive, and all of a sudden now I've got 100 megabyte cartridges where I can put images and pictures and special files that don't even have to be in the hard drive, as well as great for backup.
Yeah. So you can just carry this thing around. Does this require AC, Suzanne? Or can you battery run that?
And no, this comes with an adapter.
Okay, so it's a zip drive. It's how much money?
$200.
Wow, okay. Very cool. What do you got, Tim?
Yeah, Stuart, this is the new OmniGo from Hewlett-Packard. Now, this is their newest handheld device. Interestingly, this is not like the HP LX 200, which is actually a PC companion.
Right.
Rather, this is more like in the Wizard or the Daytimer type class.
So it's an organizer type
That's
thing.
right. But it's a little bit different in that it actually has a pen, and it allows me to actually put this in a fold around the back mode.
You can write?
So I can write, I can go in and pick up information, I can actually turn it from landscape to portrait anytime I want, and then I can go in and it's got graffiti on it so I can actually write.
So it does have recognition in
Good
there.
recognition from a company called Palm with this little graffiti. And it's a nice little product. It's $3.99, although I guess discounted you're going to be able to find it for probably under $350.
So it's like a little Newton with a keyboard.
With a keyboard.
Built in.
Right.
And it comes with like all the normal organizer functions built into it?
Address books, note, everything.
Wow.
Nice little product, just on the markets.
OmniGo.
OmniGo from HP.
All right. Well, thank you all very much. Lots of new toys. We're going to see you back a little bit later.
All right.
All right, now my pick for one of the best new computer goodies of the year is a coffee shop. It's one of the best in the growing new trend of cyber cafes. This one is called Cybersmith, and it's in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
At Cybersmith, they serve up a mixed menu of lattes and internet access all under one high-tech roof. Here, newbies as well as wireheads can intermingle as they hop on the internet or sample the latest software.
The underlying concept is that there are a lot of new advances in technology that the general public is aware of but doesn't fully understand. And that would include the internet, to an extent online services, virtual reality, CD-ROM, and this is a place where they can come and see it and do it.
This Harvard Square wired eatery is decorated with fiber optic cable, CD-ROM lights, and cozy wraparound booths. In order to access any of the 53 computers, you'll need a cyber card which costs $1 for a 6-month membership. Besides surfing the net, you can also try out the latest CD-ROMs, morph your image and print it on a t-shirt, and explore the world of virtual reality. All the software as well as a wealth of books are available for purchase. And of course, there's the food, espresso, sandwiches, and desserts, all ordered online. Marshall Smith stresses that Cybersmith is not just for computer whiz kids. The cafe provides a comfortable electronic environment for novices as well. Knowledgeable staff members called Technosmiths are eager to help beginners of any age.
We're selling understanding. We're selling the use of it. We're selling basically time. That's our primary product. With, we call them Technosmiths, who are in the store, who'll help you do whatever it is that you're trying to do. Our slogan down there is, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, and I do and I understand. And that's what the store's all about.
For Computer Chronicles, I'm Giles Bateman.
Have we found something that turns you on yet? If not, we get another shot. Here to show us their picks for the best new computer products of the year are Christine Gretsch of Electronic Entertainment Magazine, Beth Cataldo with Computer Life Magazine, and Paul Schindler, Windows Magazine. And I guess, Beth, we're going to start with you. What neat new toy do you have to show us?
Well, if you know anyone with a camcorder and a VCR,
everyone.
It takes, yeah, pretty much everyone, takes a lot of movies. This is a great product called Video Director. All you need is, like I said, a camcorder and your VCR, and this cable and the software. Once you load it, you play your videos, and you define clips that you're going to compile into your final movie.
So there are your video clips running over there off the VCR.
Right. So I want the shot of this man over here. I'm going to hit Start of Clip on the software, and Video Director has recorded the beginning of the clip. When I'm done watching him, I hit End of Clip.
So you're marking your in and your out.
You got it. And then I'll pause the movie for
the real stuff.
Exactly.
Yes,
it's just like professional software, but it's cheap.
Yeah.
$49.95.
$49.95. So just software. And the cables or just the software?
Well, no, the cable also.
So all you need is a camcorder, a VCR, and a PC.
Right.
And the software for it. And so you can edit stuff. But you need a VHS, VCR, and your original camera, so you got something to go up and back.
So you have to have someone who's really interested in doing videos in the first place.
Yeah.
But basically what you can do...
For $49, you can play.
How interested do you have to be? How interested do you have to be? Right. Well,
so how do you actually edit? You showed me how you select the cuts.
Okay, so you select the cuts, and then all you have to do is say Save Clip. Dialog box prompts you, I'm going to say Plant 3, because this is some video of a plant show.
So you can put a little name on each clip?
Right.
Not just any plant show.
Not just any plant show, right. And then you can continue on marking your takes and saving your clips. Then once you're done with that, all you have to do is drag and drop these clips in a particular order that you want them to run. So say I want plant show 2, and then I want to run plant 3 in between those two.
And press go and walk out and come back?
You press go, and your VCR will be ready to go.
So basically, with all the hardware most people currently have, with this you can do your own editing.
Exactly.
Now, can you do different kinds of effects between, or is it just
just cuts? That's why it's inexpensive, right? It's just butt cuts.
Right.
But it's great to take out out-of-focus shots. You know, there's a lot of people that just keep their videos on the shelf because who wants to show them to anyone? You know, you've got that bad...
Who wants to watch all those 4 hours worth of junk? You know,
Exactly.
Okay, so it's called Video Director Home.
That's right.
And it's from Gold Disc?
That's right.
All right, that's great. Okay. Paul, you're on. What are you going to show us?
Well, I'm going to show you a great game. Now, you know, Stuart, although not a lot of people do, that I was on Jeopardy, and I am a...
So you know from great games.
I know from great games, and this is one of the most entertaining computer games I have ever seen. It's from Berkeley Systems. It's $50. It's called You Don't Know Jack. Now, it's set up as if you're on a television game show, choice of 1, 2, or 3 players. We've had it be 1 player. It's got music, it's got special effects, and it's got the weirdest questions and categories you've ever seen. Okay. I'm going to start it up here and play a question or two. All right, I'm going to go for the category, the periodic table and the House of Hanover. Every question has one of these animated openings with the chorus, a value. Now, if there were multiple players, they could buzz in for the question.
Put your fingers on your buzzers. Here's the
Just
question.
Number B.
King George III and other rulers were really made of noble stuff. Which gas might they pass?
Neon is a noble gas.
All right.
Hey, I know my
Great.
chemistry.
Look at that.
Do we have time for one more?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, these questions are so odd, but the music and the guys' chatter every time you play the game is
this is
different.
multimedia Trivial Pursuit.
It is,
right?
and it's cartoons and fancy weddings, and there are hundreds of categories, hundreds of questions. It's never seen a game like this. It runs on the Macintosh where I'm demonstrating. It also runs under Windows 95. You can run it under Windows 3.1 if you have Win32s installed, but it's so fancy, it takes a pretty powerful machine to play it well. 4666, I'd
Now,
say. on the
why is
PC
that? I
side.
mean, it's just words and audio.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
It's clever, it's funny, it's well written.
And that takes processing power.
And that takes processing power. Now, I didn't get a chance to read which of these would be incorrect. I don't know. I just lost it because I didn't actually have time to read the question.
So, I mean, this is parlor game stuff. A bunch of people sit around and the computer sort of runs the game.
And the computer
for you.
runs the game. But it's, it's not like the other computerized game shows I've seen because it's not simple questions and answers. It's not like the home version of Jeopardy. It's exciting, it's interesting, it's funny, it's clever, it's got attitude.
I think you like it.
I think
you like it. Christine, your turn. What are you going to show us?
I have a different kind of game. It's called Panic in the Park. And this is an adventure game. Much like Myst, it's a first-person perspective. In this case, you're wandering around an amusement park. And the big selling point here, it stars Erica Eleniak, who was with Baywatch, or you may remember her from the Beverly Hillbillies movie, or you may not. Basically, what you're doing, you're wandering around the park, and you're going to interact with these video characters. The game ships on 3 CD-ROMs because it contains all of the video. So I explore the park. But what makes this a little bit different and kind of fun for families is that there's also traditional amusement park games in here, something like skee ball or whatnot. And
So you can just play the normal
so you can do the
games.
adventure game, or you can go ahead and just play these little quick.
But what's the object of the game when you're exploring the park? Are you trying to?
You're trying to solve a mystery. We have evil twins. There's an evil twin and a good twin, and the park is up for closure, and you're trying to save the park.
Okay.
So you're looking for the lost deed here. And what I'm doing right now is I'm going to the, whoops, I didn't want that. I'm trying to call up one of the games so I can show you just the traditional, here we go down here, the amusement park games that you
Okay,
can
now
go
do you
ahead.
have to do these games to win the big game, or do you just
Yeah.
stop and have fun and take a break from solving the puzzle?
You do this as part of solving the
Okay.
whole
So you have to
story.
play these arcade games to get ahead.
Right, but you can also go ahead and just do them for amusement.
Can you win this without clues and tips?
No, you have
Can
to
a
go
normal
around.
human being play this game?
Yeah, actually you can, and that's been sort of a complaint of gamers is that it isn't as hard as something else, but it's great for families. And here we're bringing up. You'll recognize this is like skee ball.
Oh yeah, sure.
See, I'm
Okay.
It takes a little practice to get used to the
You're
math.
on the edge there. I
Yeah.
know it's hard.
So that's basically it.
Okay, so real quick, let's run around. I know you each have a couple more things you want to tell us about. Beth, you go next.
This is the Blockbuster Movie and Videos CD, which has 21,000 videos. You can go through, get some ideas of what
Decide
to go.
what movie you want to rent.
Exactly. So you don't have to spend hours in the video store. And it's going to have monthly updates, $3, so you can keep it current.
Online, or you got to buy
Online, yeah,
Okay.
online.
And what's the other one?
The other one is the Cranberries' new audio CD has these interactive liner notes. So you can go in, put it on your PC, and actually play.
So half audio CD, half CD-ROM.
CD-ROM,
Oh,
right.
that's cool.
And you can go into their photo albums and find out about the history of the band. Yeah, this is where CDs will be going, I think.
Paul Schindler.
Well, I got two quick things to show you. First of all, the PC Cam. Now, this is a color camera, $500.
Okay, you brought out
It's
this
from
box,
Sony.
but you're talking about this. So I got confused here.
All right.
This is what you're telling me.
This is what I'm telling you about. PC Cam. This is a color camera. There's a microphone inside of it. It's from Sony. On the back, you have video outlets and SVHS outlet that can go into any computer or
So this
video
is like
board.
the quick cam we saw from Tim in the first segment, but this is color.
But it's color, and it's a Sony. No,
And
it's a nice device and very small, a very, very high video quality.
And how much?
$500.
Okay.
And this is
Now
from Creative
3D
Labs,
Blaster.
3D Blaster, $350. The board of the future for 3D game playing. They're trying to establish a new standard for enhanced graphics in the PC world, and their Creative Labs, they invented the Sound Blaster. I think they have a realistic chance.
But this is graphics video,
This
not
is graphics
sound.
video, not
Yeah,
sound.
3D
They're
Blaster.
moving out.
Got it.
3D Blaster.
Christine, quickly.
Okay, we have a passion for art, and this is a virtual art gallery.
You can walk around, take a look at a collection that the public hasn't been able to see. And that's about $40. And then we have Zoop, which is often being compared to Tetris. It's just a quick, really addictive Twitch game.
Okay. If I asked Giles Bateman for his best new computer product of the year, he would no doubt say something having to do with the internet. So let's pop over to Giles' Hangout for his recommendations on our Consumer Buying Guide show.
Thanks, Stuart. There's one application I wouldn't be on the internet without, and that's Claris Emailer. It allows me to input information about all my different email accounts, and then it will bring all those messages into one inbox and one outbox for that matter, whether it's an America Online account, a CompuServe account, eWorld, Internet, Radio Mail, you name it. One of my favorite things about Emailer is its address handling. Many of my friends have more than one actual email address, so I can input as many of those as I want. I've got, I think, 176 names in this entire list, and I can choose which address to send to and which address to send from. It will address the message appropriately, send it appropriately, and if I've enclosed any files, it will compress those appropriately. Go to Claris's site, download their free trial version. You won't want to live without it once you've tried it. Now, next, if you are trying to become a webmaster, set up your own website, I definitely recommend Webmaster Macintosh or Webmaster Windows. How to build your own web server without really trying really sums up the entire point. These will teach you how to set up a website from scratch. Now, last but not least, Tim was mentioning this earlier, but the Connectix QuickCam is really cool because if you have it, you can connect and participate in See You See Me conferences that look like this.
Thanks, Giles. Time now for this week's computer news. Here's Laurie with the latest from Random Access.
In the Random Access file this week, the Wall Street Journal reports that Packard Bell is in financial trouble, forced to borrow money from its major supplier, Intel. Analysts say that Packard Bell guessed wrong in pushing 75 megahertz Pentium machines, while its competitors are challenging with 100 megahertz PCs. The good news for consumers is that Packard Bell may be slashing prices just in time for the holiday buying season. Also good news for Macintosh users. Another clone maker has entered the market. UMax of Taiwan has signed an agreement with Apple to produce Mac-compatible computers. UMax will initially sell into the Asian market. IBM is taking the net seriously. Computer Reseller News says that IBM will soon launch a new division dedicated exclusively to Internet software products. IBM has already committed to building a low-cost Internet terminal. DataQuest has lowered its projection for Windows 95 sales this year. The research company says it now estimates that about 16 million copies of the Win95 will be in consumers' hands by the end of the year. The original estimate was 20 million. Lotus has shipped its Windows 95 version of the Smart Suite. The new 96 edition of Smart Suite includes re-architected 32-bit versions of its basic applications, plus new groupware features. Zenith has introduced the Z-Note GT notebook computer with a 12.1-inch color display, the biggest in the industry. The Zenith screen offers 38% more viewing area than the standard 10.4-inch display. Running out of hard drive space, a company called FWB has announced a new 2-gigabyte hard drive. It's pricey. The internal version lists at $989. And if you're getting tired of swapping CD-ROMs, Alps Electric has introduced a 4-disc CD-ROM changer. It's a 4-speed drive that can switch among audio CDs, photo CDs, CDI discs, and standard CD-ROMs. List price is under $500. Finally, a new Gallup poll shows that PCs are the king of the hill now. 52% of Americans say they would prefer a new PC for Christmas rather than a new TV set. Well, that's it for this week's Random Access News. Back to you, Stuart.
That's it for this special Consumer's Buying Guide edition of the Computer Chronicles. I know this all went by very fast. We'll review all the top products of the year for you as we close the show. Remember, we'll be back again next week with more neat stuff from the world of personal computer technology. I'm Stuart Chaffee. Hope to see you here again next time.
Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by Hewlett-Packard Personal Computers, developing PCs for business. Additional funding from the Software Publishers Association, providers of educational materials to help manage software. Don't copy that floppy. Videotape copies of all Computer Chronicle shows are available for $32.50. Please order by show number and topic. And for more detailed information about the series, guests, and products featured, you can also order a subscription to the Chaffee Letter. In each issue, Stuart provides his unique insights and thoughts about the fast-changing world of personal technology. Videotapes and the Chaffee Letter can be ordered by calling 1-800-800-9520 or by writing us at the Computer Chronicles.